Well, it is time for the fastest rising. Sorry, I'm doing the Tooney Town Wrestling. It is Thursday night in Tooney Town, and that can only one thing. It is time for our pop culture podcast that can have no equal. It is time for Tooney Talk TV, folks. I am Marvin, and I am the Movie Monster, and I am thrilled to once again bring you another week of stellar pop culture content here. And joining me, as always, the treasurer of Tooney Town, the one and only girl on this podcast, Trish.
Hello,
it's just
everybody.
Trish, folks.
You know, I learned that Trisha Paytas has a podcast called Just Trish. Now I'm like, oh, I don't want to use it now.
Oh no, well, I'm still using it because you're just Trish. We can call you T-Rish.
Like T-Rex.
So, yeah, of course. And of course, folks, joining us this week, just returned. He was absent last week for the first time ever, and we missed him dearly. The one and only Nolan Thunder.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's been doing good. I'm glad no one died while I was gone.
Yeah, you look tan.
That's the bar.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That is typically how we
you gauge positivity.
Trish the Dish.
Yes, yes. I had friends.
Amazing.
I had friends in high school who were like obsessed with Kevin Smith, and they used to call me that all the time.
You did not have friends in high school.
Dang!
You know, actually, I did. Everyone was like, you got nominated for most talkative. I'm like, I don't want that. And they were like, well, you talk to everybody. I'm like, that's social butterfly, guys. That's not most talkative.
For real.
But I had two friends, so I got called that all the time.
Oh, there you go. Also joining us this week, folks, from the world of That Park Place, the one and only Mr. Martin Stone.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Welcome back to the show, my friend. We got so much to talk about this week. By the way, Kevin Apollo on his way. He just texted me, says he's en route. He had a transformer explode. Apparently, they were fighting for Cybertron or something, and so he is currently on his way. I'm sure he's fighting a whole bear army to get to us, folks. But he is going to be here very soon. Martin, how have you been? How's your week been treating you?
You know, I am pretty good. No complaints at all. I'll come up with some next time.
Please do. Please do, because we don't like it when we're too happy here on Tooney Talk TV. I see in the chat, we see Denisha Lane out there. Good to see you. It's good to see Lisa in there. We got Andre. We've got Baloney Tugboat. You guys are the best. Welcome back for another week. I know, it's the best name ever. But by the way, guys, today is a special day. We are kind of celebrating here because today is the launch of our Tooney Town TV channel memberships. So we've got the three tiers here: $1.99, $4.99, and $19.99, with everything from special emojis that you can use in the chat to loyalty badges to member exclusive videos, a members only live stream, and on the Tooney Town Council the ability to actually be a panelist on the residents only live stream, and you get an X follow and DM access for me if that's what you so want. But we have a first member exclusive video up there right now, and it is our new series, Kevin Apollo Rants. And it is he's talking about Matt Smith in this one. So it's about an 8-minute video of Kevin Apollo just ranting about Matt Smith. So if you like Kevin Apollo and stream of consciousness, then yeah, it'll be there for you. All right. Well, we got a couple of things to point out. We got a couple new members. First of all, Martin Stone became a member. Thank you very much.
I
Marv
know that
Kinel.
guy.
Welcome to the family.
Who's that guy?
Tyler Galansky also became a member. Go and Shogi, new member of Tooney Town
my
TV.
goodness.
Also, Tooney Town TV, that's me, gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships, which is a thing you guys can do. We like to try to turn the chat green. I believe Little Mouse became a member through that. Denisha became a member through that, and a couple of others. Nolan Thunder also became a YouTube member of Tooney Town TV. So very, very appreciative of all you guys.
You might want to block
you-
that guy.
If you guys love Kevin Apollo rants, as Richard is saying here, then you guys are gonna enjoy the series that he's gonna be doing. He's a little more subdued in this one. It's kind of more like a Kevin Apollo like approves of something. So I'm really looking forward to like the next. I told him the next one's got to be something you don't approve of, because Matt Smith did a whole thing about trigger warnings and how he doesn't like them, and so of course Kev was like, yeah. All right, but we have got so much to talk about this week. We're going to start off by talking about the thing that I talked about today on our regular video, and that is the fans of the Acolyte are not done, guys.
Both
They
of
are
them?
not done with us. Yeah,
They
no,
started?
absolutely.
They even started at
Yeah.
one point?
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
There were more never nudes, honestly.
But yeah, so we have got some new stuff. They have gone from just complaining about the show being canceled to attempting to actually use the cancellation of the show to attack the people that were speaking negatively about the show. Now, I'm nowhere near big enough yet to incur that kind of wrath, but they did go after a few very notable names in the industry. They went after hold on, let's see here. Where is the Acolyte cancellation backlash? There it is.
I think Nerdrotic was one, wasn't it?
Yep, they went after Nerdrotic, they went after Geeks and Gamers, and they went after Ryan Kinel from Hockey Outpost. So
I'm surprised Critical Drinker isn't on there.
I was really surprised by that too. I thought for sure
Just
because
saying.
he's even bigger than Nerdrotic. So, but yeah, I mean,
everyone
these guys,
just loves him. He's too wholesome.
look in the battle against virtue signaling media. These are the guys who are leading the charge, right? Like they're leading the charge up the hill. They're storming the beach. We're all kind of following behind them because they're the biggest names in this. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Gary. I've met Ryan. I have met Jeremy. I've met Eric July. I've met the Drinker. They're all just wonderful, wonderful people. X-Ray Girl, she's amazing. And yeah, they're really nice people. Like they're so nice and so gracious, and they like take the time to like talk to you. They gave me a lot of advice. They're amazing. But anyway, let's talk about what these idiots are doing. So this is written on That Park Place by WW Pro himself. Viewpoints aren't always the same from individual to individual, from community to community, and from nation to nation. Expression of those viewpoints, however, is vital to the understanding of individuals, not to mention the ability to navigate disagreements in a civilized and tolerable fashion. One area where there seems to be tremendous agreement, however, is that The Acolyte, a television show on Disney Plus created by Lucasfilm, was not a very great experience for viewers. So he goes on to talk about how bad the show was and how poorly it was received. We know Amanda Sameface, she started railing against the fans of Star Wars with a diss track, and then her big video after the cancellation blaming all the discourse. So then she says, despite what should probably be an indictment of Lucasfilm lead Kathleen Kennedy hiring the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, to run the show, a new defense has sprung up. Instead of it being the fault of a wayward studio with rapidly declining engagement, it is instead the act of deranged trolls which derailed The Acolyte. Occam's razor, this is not. We see here a couple of the tweets. Hate should not be a career path. At Team YouTube, demonetized Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Ryan Kinel. And they had this entire like ditto, like this entire 2-page ditto created to have like the facts and this whole like big. This is like a targeted, organized campaign here, guys. Right? Am I wrong in thinking that, Martin?
I was definitely
I love a
planned
good
to some
pamphlet.
degree. Right. Well, can't say they're not dedicated to the cause making a pamphlet.
I mean, yeah, they have literature. Like, how do you say that's not organized?
I don't mean to offend anybody but it reminds me of like those pamphlets you get when you go to church, where it says the facts in bold text about what happened and all that. It's like, wow, this is kind of bad.
You see, now I'm going to have to make myself a track to put on the tracked rack about why Lord of the Rings has nothing to do with Rings of Power. I think the congregation needs to know that.
I agree. Oh, joining us this week, folks, the one and only Kevin Apollo.
Hello, everybody.
There you are,
Kevin.
What are we talking about? Oh,
we are talking about the virtue signaling Star Wars fans, or as I like to call them, the Wokies instead of Wookiees. They are attacking and slandering Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinel.
Also, it's a beer that ends in a Y.
Exactly. Well, but look at this, Kev. This is an organized, targeted campaign of harassment and hate trying to deplatform these guys. They've got literature that they're all sharing. They're all sharing the same literature. Someone took the time to put that little stupid cartoon Millennium Falcon in there.
Ooh.
Bear in mind that this person has chosen to identify with the concept that Nancy Drew is better than Sherlock
Holmes. I know. It's ridiculous. It's already an entirely ridiculous concept.
I will accept that Dupain is better than Sherlock Holmes, but not Nancy Drew. That's like saying Encyclopedia Brown.
I was literally about to say Encyclopedia Brown. I was an Encyclopedia Brown kid, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna switch to another tab here and show you guys. This is their complaint. Dear Team YouTube.
Are they standing around mall elevators handing you pamphlets?
Oh God, would that be? And of course, by the way, note over here on the right side. Of course, only their followers can reply, or only the people they follow can reply.
That's courage, my
friend.
Almost
like it's a.
Go ahead, Nolan.
Almost like it's a trend. It seems like whenever people put out stuff like this, they're not prepared, to deal with a lot of people, quoting or responding to it. And I think we're all in a position where we don't like people screaming in our face, and sometimes people take things too far. But to censor the voices of like everybody, even those who would be on your side quoting this, that's pathetic.
So they start last week. Actor Amanda Stenberg, they, I'm already out, posted candid comments to Instagram about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol that she has received since leading the cast of The Acolyte, the latest addition to the Star Wars universe. Stenberg's experience is not new. In fact, this known tactic was initially provoked by former Breitbart news editor Milo Yiannopoulos, who aggressively targeted Ghostbusters actor Leslie Jones under the guise of film criticism. After prolonged insults against a Ghostbusters character resulted in harassment against Jones on Twitter, Yiannopoulos claimed Jones was playing the victim when she called her for action against the harassment. The aggressive gaslighting of Jones's experience resulted in Yiannopoulos being banned from Twitter. Is he still banned from Twitter, Kev?
Probably. I mean, Milo has his own problems, so.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, I remember hearing that. 8 years later, his playbook against marginalized actors has burgeoned into a multi-million-dollar business on YouTube, which has been permitted to develop unchecked with the help of the YouTube's partner program. This playbook's biggest target, Star Wars. Come on.
Is this the part where we all put our thumbs up and smile into the camera?
Yeah. Send in your super chats. By the way, Andre Adams super chatting for $20 right now. This topic of thank you so much, Andre. Really, thank you very much. This topic of outrage is the greatest reach since Space Jam. That show stank worse than 14 feet of chitlings with a can of sardines in the sun.
That's a Kevin Apollo style description, Andre.
You guys got to be you guys should be friends with the way you $20 super chat. Thank you so much. What a great way to start off the show. What a great way to start off super chats. We got to say thank you to Andre here real quick.
Thank you, Andre. At first, I thought his message was literally saying like there was controversy surrounding the Space Jam franchise, and I'm like, what?
No, but thank you very much from all of us here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you!
Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.
I just feel whenever we get anything above $20, I like to play a little something.
I was grooving. I was enjoying it.
I'm glad. So, as fans of the Star Wars franchise, we have tirelessly.
I think the controversy surrounding Space Jam was that some
Was that what?
Uh-oh. LeBron James shut Martin down.
He knew.
Oh, no, you don't.
You can't criticize Brock, Ron.
King LeBron.
You back, Martin?
No,
I am now,
LeBron
yes.
wasn't kidding. Oh,
Oh, okay. You said you know what the problem is about Space Jam, and then you went out.
Oh, that somebody discovered old footage of Bugs Bunny seducing a hunter by wearing women's clothes.
That's very As fans of the Star Wars franchise, we have tirelessly witnessed a handful of YouTube creators continuously drive prolonged insults and harassment against marginalized actors and members of our community by saying they didn't like the shows that they were in. Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinel, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. The facts, quote unquote. In 2018, Geeks and Gamers, 396,000 subscribers. There you go, getting a shout out. Encouraged harassment against Vietnamese American actor Kelly Marie Tran, leading to Tran's departure from Instagram due to prolonged harassment. No, they did not.
Well, that no one could find anywhere on this earth.
A guy with 396,000 subscribers, and no one has any proof that this happened. Look, were people mean to Kelly Marie Tran? Absolutely, and it was not deserved. She's not the character that she played. The character she played was terrible. People were definitely mean to her, and it shouldn't happen. But it wasn't Geeks and Gamers.
And it was like 3 people. No one cared.
Geeks and Gamers published nearly 15 videos relevant to Tran's Star Wars episode 8, The Last Jedi character Rose Tico. The channel claimed that Tran's character is one of the most hideous characters of all time, the most unlikable character ever, and exists for forced diversity. They're right on all of those things. Not hideous in a physical way, but like it's just a terrible, terrible character. It's just an awful character that no one liked. There's a reason why Rose
character. It's fiction.
There's a reason why Rose Tico action figures have been warming the pegs in Walmarts all over the world ever since, right?
They're all sitting next to that Atari cartridge,
right?
And Marvel's Katie.
Geeks and Gamers championed RK Outpost, 319,000 subscribers, a channel that frequently targets marginalized actors, including Moses Ingram, a Black American cast member in TV series Kenobi. Days before Ingram called out racist backlash against her on Instagram, RK Outpost called Ingram a lunatic who can do nothing other than play the victim. I'm still not seeing any racism here. I see comments regarding behavior and comments regarding performance
and let me point
and writing.
Out, the one person who mentioned even anything remotely racial was a Black person.
Yes.
Used a soft A, not a hard R, and it wasn't directly at her. It was saying there have been plenty of soft A's in Star Wars from the very beginning, and then posted a picture of Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Because
RK Outpost has recently referred to Ingram's Kenobi character Reva as dumb and retarded. Well,
she was.
Yeah, she was. I'm surprised they're not saying R slur. That's the new thing. They say R slur. When somebody says R slur, I know they're a retard.
Yes, absolutely.
Geeks and Gamers and RK Outpost frequently co-host the live stream Friday Night Tights on Nerdrotic's YouTube channel, 1.1 million subscribers, where the 3 channels have made a profitable business reusing prolonged insults against marginalized actors featured in Star Wars, Captain Marvel, and The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, to name a few. Amandla is the current target of this YouTube-based operation. Together, Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic have led the charge against Amandla. No, Amandla leads the charge against herself. Because she can't handle when people criticize her performance. Go ahead, Gav.
Are we sure that this just isn't an outrage marketing ploy by Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinel? Because they have been, this is packed with so much product placement. You would think it was Coca-Cola in the Superman movie.
I know, right? Oh, man, that's so true.
That seems more like a Matt Walsh move.
Let's see here. Producing nearly 40 videos relevant to Amandla and the Acolyte since May. These channels have asserted that Amandla is vapid and narcissistic. She is. The adult pretender she is, because that's what an actor is, an adult who pretends to be somebody else. Dumb, she proves that every time she speaks. And okay, this one sucks. A half black bitch, which for defending herself against racism. I don't like that. I wouldn't call her that myself.
Agreed.
These channels have gaslit Amanda by claiming she's playing the victim card. She did. She made a whole diss track about it, with AK Outpost proclaiming, if you've never been oppressed in your GD life, you be. She hasn't. She was born rich. Her parents are fabulously wealthy people.
She was a rich
oppressed.
A rich kid born in the 2000s in the United States. She wouldn't know oppression if it came up and slapped her in the mouth.
Of course. She's lived in.
Okay, I keep hearing that. What did her parents do? Who are her parents?
Oh gosh, I used to know this. Her father is some big muckety muck. Not in Hollywood, but he's like some big
that's all right.
man.
Just
I think it was involved in.
anyway.
I think he was involved in music or something like that. I think it's something involved in music.
Yeah, one of her parents is a music mogul.
Yeah. So these YouTubers also use racist dog.
I was gonna say that explains the diss track video, I guess.
Oh, apparently she's a very good violin player, which I'm like, please go play more violin. I mean, she encourages me to play a song on the world's smallest violin every time she talks, but the hate campaign against Amanda has been so profitable that other major YouTubers have joined in the attacks on Amanda, including Star Wars Theory with 3.3 million subscribers. How many more good faith content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns if behavior is permitted to continue with no repercussions? And they say action required. The Star Wars fandom refuses to watch another marginalized actor or fan be singled out by prolonged racist harassment from a handful of YouTube. What?
Action required is my favorite part of this. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What? This is the action you must take to rectify the situation.
Like the Monarch from Venture Bros. Action required.
23.
Action required.
Can that be our new phrase around here? Action
required. Super chat. Action required. Action required.
I smell a new clip.
I'm dying right now.
Oh man.
Just the attitude towards that.
You know what? Erica hit it on the head in the chat here. She says the problem is there legitimately are disgusting people out there that will make idiotic comments and then all criticism gets rolled into it. That's 100% it. Some idiot out there is going to call Amanda Stenberg a racial slur, and then all criticism gets lumped in with that one guy.
Well, it's an act of convenience. There's always one.
Of course, they bait it. They bait it because once they have it, they're like, here it is. Here's our shield.
Mm-hmm.
They print the tweet out on a shield and hold it in front of them.
They essentially play Wheel of Fortune. Amanda Stenberg is a, I'm not going to say it, but we all get what I'm trying to do. It's the Randy Marsh episode of South Park.
Oh my god, that episode!
And then when the slide control takes the bait, they go, I'm oppressed! Oppression! Action required! Help me!
Poor Cam.
Action required sounds like a thing a Dalek would scream. Action required! Action required! Anyway, continuing on with action required. This is transformed hate into a lucrative career path. Oh gosh, I hope so. It's concerning to us that targeting marginalized actors on other social media platforms has historically resulted in platform bans, whereas the same behavior has made provocateurs millionaires on YouTube. This should be highly concerning to advertisers as well. Yeah, you want to know why? Because the oppression was free speech was being denied before on social media platforms, and now it's not. Well, not as much. We understand that YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic is not opinion or criticism. It's prolonged targeted harassment against women of color. We urge YouTube to enforce its community guidelines and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. Thank you. And then, of course, they've got to be cringy. May the force be with you. Oh, shut up.
I would pay money to see someone like read this in like Skeletor's voice or some over the top 90s cartoon villain.
I'll do it.
Cobra Commander.
Send it to me. Send it to me. Give me 2 hours to get it down, and I'll do it.
We understand.
How sheltered do you have to be to not know that?
YouTube has an
Yes,
important
we're on
I think I'm
YouTube
lagging
Marks.
behind. I'm going to drop
promoting
out and
free
come back.
speech.
Yeah, Martin, I think
Uploaded
you
by-
are.
Guys, I'm trying to cook here. Thank you. Trish.
Well,
Martin's
Martin's
not having
lagging.
delay.
I'm just trying to help him.
It's
The
okay.
panel
Martin-
is totally your Perry the
Martin's gonna drop out and
Platypus,
come
by
back
the way.
in. It's fine.
He's gonna. I just want to acknowledge his pain. He was
I
getting
know.
stuff all
Look, I went
over.
through it last week, and then I came back, and it was fine.
Action is required. Do the voice. Do the voice.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Trisha's got to play a requiem because Martin had to back out of the chat.
All I said was, I think
He's
you
back-
are.
He's going to be back in 10 seconds, and Trisha's over here being like, Lacrimosa.
Listen, I won't
What?
apologize for being nice. Thank you.
Iced
No
tea is not required. We require.
You can't say anything to me because I'm a woman, and that would be sexist. So
Can I do
I
the
win.
voice, please, Trish? Can I have your woman?
misogyny.
I suppose I'll allow it.
We understand that YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic is not opinion or criticism. It's prolonged, targeted harassment against women of color. We urge you to enforce this community guideline and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. You see, Perry the Platypus, when I was a young boy in Gibbelstump, thank you. May
just
the
want, like, a
force
tragic-
be with you.
I just want to picture like a tragic Doofenshmirtz backstory where he's at like a Star Wars convention and everyone throws things at him or something.
Martin, you're back.
I hope so.
Oh, don't
Yes,
pretend
I
that
can- we
you
can
care. I was
can
the
hear
only
you.
one
We
that
can
hear you now.
cared that
No,
Martin
I'm
had to
sorry.
leave.
I'm sorry, Martin. Trish made a big deal out of it.
I did. I cried.
Oh, thank you. That means a
I
lot
was
to me.
legitimately letting you know that you were heard, and he's like, "I'm cooking here."
I was.
Outta
Goodness,
here.
all right. So,
I'm
so back
impressed they
here,
have resources.
hold on, look at this Molly. She's from some Star Wars channel. I've spoken at length about this in the past, but the only way things get better is if Team YouTube does something to discourage this kind of content. Until then, it will only get worse.
The longer you do this, there's like this demon inside of me that just keeps going, wait till they get a load of me. And I need to move on.
Do you want to read this one? Do you want to read this one as somebody?
No, I want to move away from these psychos as fast as possible before I lose the urge to not want to have to respond to them in kind.
Hold on, we could do. I could do this one as Goldar from Power Rangers if you want.
Please.
Oh wait! No, that's just Triple H. It's gonna expose the Triple H. Hold on. The fandom menaces run rampant for too long, and now a flourishing cottage industry of thinly veiled bigotry has been able to thrive while making fandom spaces a cesspool of hatred. It's time for Team YouTube to step up and enforce their terms of service, Lord said.
Of evil.
You wibbling woke buffoon! I would just love to see a Power Rangers reboot where Goldar is like an activist or something like that. That would be hilarious.
Woke Goldar.
Check your
Yes.
misogyny at the door, Green Weakling.
Microaggression.
How dare you assume transgender?
What? Just because she's the Pink Ranger, you assume she's she/her?
Black Ranger, we don't see color here. Black Rangers matter.
Oh my god!
I'm literally dying right now.
Oh my god!
You can see how tonight's episode is going to be.
Oh, we're just assuming Alpha 5's gender just because he has a masculine voice? I see what this is.
Why can't he be 6 or 7? Why are you
Does he,
oppressing
though?
robots? Oh my god. So Team YouTube actually responded to this one. It said, Molly Damon, we really appreciate you bringing that. I'll do. Give me another voice. What's another voice that I do that I can read as Team YouTube?
Just be a lifeless android forced to
Yeah,
exist.
really, because that's the canned answer.
Oh, you know, I know what I'll do for the next one. This is Molly Damon. We really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Mind reporting the channel video in the official reporting tool if you haven't yet. This page has more info on how to do that. She's like, will do. Meanwhile, this is Team YouTube being like, can you stop tweeting at us? Can you just go?
Maybe if we acknowledge it, it'll go away.
Yeah, can you go through the official channel so that we can deny your request before we all run headfirst into a rock? Oh my god, these people are absolutely out of their mind. They're deranged. But YouTube did actually respond to them again. So rewriting Ripley Pod was kind of like the main one that was, heading this up. So hold on, I want to take a look at all of his yeah, okay, here we go. I'm going to pull this one up. All right. So I'm going to read the first one first. A handful of YouTubers have jeopardized the safety of our community and the creatives we love for too long. The Star Wars fandom demands action. At Team YouTube, demonetize Nerdrotic, Ryan Kinel, RK Outpost, and Geeks and Gamers. Hate should not be a career path.
Mr. J, the same Nerdrotic subscriber count has gone up again.
Woman, I'm cooking here.
Imagine there's no heaven. I wonder.
Hello, Team YouTube. The Star Wars community would at the very least appreciate a formal response or update in regards to our well-documented and pressing concerns about YouTubers pushing prolonged harassment on your platform. All right, so YouTube responded. Thanks for reaching out, you piece of trash. Just heard back and confirmed that this content is not violative and will remain up. Oh, hell yeah. We totally understand you might not agree with this decision, but we always got a little sign language for you, so here's to you.
I love that they actually said totally.
The response just should have been the Captain Picard face palm.
Oh, I know. I know.
No, the double face palm. Kevin.
This rewriting Ripley Pod guy, he also he goes, Team YouTube, this is an admission that you have not reviewed our concerns proven by saying this video when there are 10 plus videos in question. However, thank you for confirming your inability to take safety seriously. You and your advertisers will be hearing more from us soon.
Oh, if I was
They're going to call up every single advertiser they have?
These weirdos would. If I was Team YouTube, I would have just responded, I'm sorry you disappointed your father.
Additionally, I would like to point out, Team YouTube, that nobody in Star Wars fandom has requested select videos to be removed, simply that a handful of YouTube channels should be demonetized. The lack of clarity in your response to address our real concerns is appalling. They are literally just cartoon villains at this point.
I like how they're like, didn't they just say something about like, oh, it's just a few channels that we just like want you to get rid of? Like, what's the big deal?
We just want you to wipe out these people's lives. There's just a couple of people whose livelihoods we want you to wipe out.
We're not asking for like 50. We're just asking for these 3.
This is how this is how cancel culture works, guys. We're just asking you to destroy these people for us because we don't like them.
They look at these people, these real people, like they're pedestrians on the sidewalk in Grand Theft Auto, and you can just run them over.
So
Mission
yeah,
completed.
so they tried, they failed. Now that guy, the rewriting Ripley or whatever the heck his name was, they were my throat hurts now.
Is anybody? Is he talking about?
Guys, we'll
Ellen
have to do the heavy lifting rest of the stream. We killed Marvin's poor voice.
I thought he was gonna cough in the middle of it, but
Is he talking about Ellen Ripley? Like, what are we rewriting Ellen Ripley for? She's one of the
I don't
greatest.
know. Well, rewriting Ripley apparently does have a connection to Disney Lucasfilm, like directly. There's pictures of him with Kathleen Kennedy. He's definitely a shill and an insider. I think he's the spit take guy, the guy that like did a spit take because there was a tie. Yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah. That with his stupid beard.
wait, I'm a little ignorant. When they say
I know.
rewriting Ripley, do they? You're being harsh to me tonight. Let it
I
be
know,
noted.
I'm sorry.
for
I'm
all
sorry.
this
You
prosperity,
interrupted my
prosperity, whatever.
interrupted my flow of consciousness before. Now you must pay.
You can mess with his ego. You can mess with his funds, his life, but you can never mess with his Doofenshmirtz impression.
Oh,
That's going too far.
you'll
Do you know how
live.
much that takes out of me, Trish? Do you know how much of my throat?
Well, I
gets
gave your throat
shredded?
a break by making you
No.
stop.
I was just trying to get through it. By doing that, I then had to stop
Listen.
and start again.
Listen, I'm
It's
gonna
like
pull
when
a
you
Zach
turn a
Morris.
computer. It's like when you hard reset a computer. It's not great for the computer.
I'm pulling the Zach Morris here. We're gonna stop time. But when they say rewriting Ripley, they mean like Aliens Ripley,
Yes.
I have no idea.
because
idea.
that just makes me think of Jennifer Lawrence saying she was the first female action
Oh, I know.
star
I know.
in
She was
movies,
the
and I
first
just
female action hero of all time.
because Ripley was the first character. I thought I was like, oh really? Jennifer Lawrence
Adrian
was the first one.
Barbeau, Adrian Barbeau didn't exist. Shorty Weaver didn't exist.
I remember taking
Sarah
my wife
Connor.
to see the Hunger Games movie, and she was just crying because finally she could see somebody like her on the big screen.
You know who was in that movie? Amanda Sameface.
This is true.
Was she
was-
really?
She was Rue. She was the little girl that got killed.
I didn't. You think I saw that? I didn't see that franchise.
And now she's
I
Rude
like-
today.
Yeah, good one, Martin. I really like the Hunger Games, like the original 3 books. I really enjoyed reading them. The movies when when they had to stretch the last book into 2 movies because we were greedy.
Well, because Harry Potter did it. So
Yeah.
now we all must do it. Breaking Dawn, I'm looking at you.
Of
Twilight
course.
I was like, oh,
did
wait,
not need to be 2 movies.
I was like, didn't Twilight do that first?
I
Yes,
don't
it did.
maybe. Okay.
I don't know what came first, Twilight or Harry Potter doing that. I think it might have been Harry Potter that did it first.
Harry Potter did
Oh.
it first.
I'm almost sure. Yeah, I'm almost sure that the Deathly Hallows was before that. Yeah.
It's probably not by a lot though. They're probably
We've got a
really
couple-
close to each other.
We got a couple super chats to get to. Alejandro Melendez says, saw the Monet Patreon bit. Hilarious. Thank you very much. He's talking about over on Tooney Town Wrestling. Today's video is about Ricochet, and we did a whole Pokemon opening with it. John J8999 for $1.99. Thank you very much. AEW Crybabies equals Disney Crybabies. This is too funny. I would say the Acolyte Crybabies are worse than the AEW Crybabies because they actually went as far as to print up literature. So, Kevin Haggerty for $5. I'm with Red Letter Media on Star Wars. I like the OG trilogy, but Star Wars doesn't work as a franchise for me. It's limited to just pure good versus evil. I mean, you're not wrong. It is a good versus evil story, and that's why when they try to inject these shades of gray into that, or what they're doing with the Rings of Power right now, which is just absolutely insane to me. With the Orc family, did you guys see the Orc family?
Yes, I've seen all.
Martin, have
four.
you watched Rings of Power season 2?
I have. In fact,
of it?
I went back and I watched 1 because I had bailed out at some point, but I helped out a channel with a parody song, so I thought I should watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
a good parody song too. Yeah, go. We could play Floral from Under a Rock, right? Like
Yeah.
the song
Floral
is
is great.
fantastic. Yeah, he does a great job. His production's off the chart. But yeah, that song cooks.
Oh, thank you.
Going on, Jockey Boy for £2 says,
Jockey
"Classic woman
boy.
never letting the man cook." LOL. Yeah,
I
well,
don't have to stand for this abuse.
yeah. No, you're
You
sitting.
know? You couldn't tell I'm so short. Like I could still be standing in how short I am.
John JID 999 for 199 says, please read one of them as Dave Meltzer, please. If there's another one, maybe I will. John JID 999 for 199 also says the 5 is Booker T. I imagine Booker T in the Acolyte. Oh my god. Could you imagine? Now I'm picturing Booker T in the Acolyte. It's the power of 1, the power of 2, and then he does the spin-a-rooney during the power of many.
The power of 5 times.
I legit thought he meant Booker T. Washington.
No,
I can't do a Booker T. Washington impression.
I just glanced at the chat. Trish, why are you saying Winky in the chat? I'm looking at that with no context.
Erica mentioned that it pissed her off that they split the Deathly Hallows but cut so much from Goblet of Fire. We're discussing things that they cut.
I was more ticked off that they cut so much from Half-Blood Prince because they cut out all the Voldemort flashbacks except for the first one.
The best part of the book. They cut it all out.
We got so much of Wan in the middle of that movie, and we got none of the actual Voldemort flashbacks. We just get Ron Weasley with a stage 4 clinger. And we don't get the actual Voldemort flashbacks, the thing that the book was entirely about.
Yes. Seeing the movies before reading the books, I had heard they were really different, but when I got to Half-Blood Prince, I was like, this is so different than the movies.
Like, in the movies,
so much better.
The movies, Ron never gets to do anything heroic, but by the end of the last
they give it to
book,
Hermione.
Exactly, all the time. By the end of the last book, he's actually a planner, he's strategic, he's intelligent, and brave.
Mm-hmm.
None of that in the movies.
That makes more sense that he ends up with her.
In the Deathly Hallows movie, he is beyond useless to the point where they make a joke about it.
Yeah,
they did that to him throughout the whole series.
I've got a theory they did that because he's actually the best actor.
At the end, at what point?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, he's the best actor and could pull off comic relief better than the other two. So they made him the permanent comic relief because he's the better actor.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
That makes sense. I do get that. Oh man. 1 second. I am just doing a quick thing here. And yep. There we go. I just gifted 5 more Tooney Town TV memberships. So for those of you that are getting them, welcome aboard. And you guys can join anytime. You guys can also gift memberships to each other, which, you know, is always a great thing. Let's see who got them. Erica got one. Andre got one. Matthew, Seabrew, and John JID 999. There you go. Welcome aboard, guys. You guys are members for a month. So, you know, make good use of it.
Soak in the Kevin rants.
Use that power wisely.
No, you're now a part of the power of many.
We are turning that chat green tonight, folks. The one thing that I said about your rant was like, it's a rant about a thing that you agreed with, so you weren't like angry during it.
Oh, the Matt Smith video?
Yes, you were very complimentary and like measured, and I was like, I want to hear him scream. Like,
I love me some
when like when you screamed about Ricochet in our video on Tooney Town Wrestling today. I hate Ricochet. And folks, if you guys want to gift memberships, you are more than welcome to do so right where you would normally super chat. It gives you the option to gift memberships. So if you want to turn the chat green, go ahead and turn the chat green. YouTube just randomly chooses people to do it. So, all right. Anything else? I'm just glad that this organized campaign against, against Gary, against Jeremy, against Ryan, that it failed. Because those guys, they're the best. Them and the Drinker and Pro, they're the best there is at what they do. It's incredible.
Get you next time, Gary. Next.
I thought for sure you were going to quote Bret Hart when he said the best there is. I thought it was coming. I was waiting.
Well, I was the best there was, but then that Bill Goldberg came along and kicked my head off. People, but like Droz was like, no, I don't blame D'Lo. You know, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. I don't blame D'Lo. And Beaver Brown's like, F Bill Goldberg. Every chance he gets. Oh man. Well, and Matthew James is pointing it out. Those guys bring in viewers for YouTube, and it's true. They bring in views, and they bring in he says, Andre says, we need the rest of that story, Kev. Oh, your Sailor Moon story. I think maybe you have to before we get to our next topic.
All right,
So we
okay.
we had the first part of this story a couple weeks ago,
The
where
story I never knew.
the story that neither Trish nor I, your friends for all these years, never knew about, you getting invited into the basement of some girl dressed like Sailor Moon. And she wanted you guys to reenact Sailor Moon scenes, you and her big fat friend.
Yeah.
But you said there was another part to this story.
Yeah,
And I want to hear that.
What?
The day was the first part, the whole thing was supposed to be, it was going to be a Power Rangers Sailor Moon day. What I didn't know about the Power Rangers part was it would only be centered around Adam, the Black Ranger.
What?
Yes. They decided they loved Adam. He was the center of the universe. Then he was a kind, gentle soul who was
wait. I'm sorry. Of all the Rangers to center an entire day around.
Yeah.
The only one that would have been worse to center a day around would have been Rocky.
Rocky or what's the little kid one?
Oh, Justin.
Oh,
yeah, Justin would have been worse.
no.
No, Justin was better than Rocky. Rocky was the worst because he took Jason's place.
I don't know. Justin was the cousin Oliver of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, he was.
At least Adam had some, some good stories with him. I don't remember them doing very much with Rocky at all. And Justin, they tried. They failed horribly on the pavement, but they did try to push Justin. Rocky, did they ever do anything with him?
They just brought him back and had him eating a meatball sandwich the entire time.
Yep. And with Rocky, he comes back at the end of the Turbo movie and he's like, guys, good news, I'm all better. And they're like, oh, that's cool, we're gonna let the 11-year-old keep your powers.
We're gonna let this child take your spot at school.
Well, we all know what happened. The second you even inquire slightly about making more money, Haim Saban is like, you think you want more money, I kill you. I kill you, career.
You're messing with me, Saban money.
Now, does this story need to be told in a Leon Phelps, the ladies' man voice? Pour a bottle of Cavassier, light a candle.
There was no butt stuff.
So it's all. Oh God! You just killed Trish. Way to go. Trish is dead. What we're seeing now is a ghost
I might
of
snort
Trish.
laugh.
So we're watching all these Adam-centric episodes, and they're just like,
wait, Adam-centric episodes?
I know. It was like
what, the Scorpino one?
Oh, let me rephrase it. We were watching Adam-centric parts of different episodes.
No.
Oh no.
There were some Adam episodes, like the one where Scorpina comes back.
Yes. I'm like, can I at least watch the fights, please? And
wait a minute. So is it like the memes, like it's the B movie, but only when this character appears, but way before that?
Yes. So we're watching. I'm like, this is boring. And then
like the putties show up and it's like they've got fast forward.
Hold on. Wait, we got to the breakdown of the song. That means it's about to get real.
The power lies on their side.
When that happens, so we're just watching these Adam-centric clips. And they're just waxing philosophic about how wonderful and gentle a soul Adam is, and how he's just this tender flower. And I'm like,
he's a frog.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't. It's the best line.
Frog.
Sorry, I needed that.
I actually heard that he ad-libbed that.
He did. It wasn't in the script. He just wanted to do it, and they let him.
I heard that he ad-libbed it. I'm a frog.
I don't remember how we transitioned to it, because what I didn't know at the time was the third also fat friend was gay. So everything was like, I'm assuming that's what he must have been crushing on Adam, and the collective decided that together we must worship Adam. So like as it going on, I'm like, so like which was the thing to do back in the 90s before we took it way too seriously and started shipping everything as a Tumblr. The he insinuated that he thought that Adam was gay. And I was like, oh, I could see that. And then it was like someone scratched a needle across the vinyl record. Why would you say that? I'm like,
wait, I'm sorry. My thing skipped for a second. What was said?
So the other friend insinuated that he thought that Adam was probably gay. So I was like, oh, I could see that. And when the second I said I could see it was like, why would you say that? And I'm like,
so it was Sailor Lithium there that that objected.
Yes, and I'm like, but you just said it.
I was just gonna say, like, what?
Saying it.
I'm allowed to say it. So wait, she said that Adam was gay, and
he said that Adam was gay, and then I was like, oh, I could see that, and then she got outraged, and then the collective like started like kind of getting a little hostile, and I'm like, well, and I was like, yeah, but like he's a little softer than the other ones, and I was like, I'm digging this hole, but I'm in it. I'm in it. So we're digging it.
Die on that Black Ranger hole.
I was like, the other ones are a little more rough and tumble, like a little macho, and Adam's a little more of a gentle soul. He's more caring and caressing. And I could see that. And I had to pull out my uncle is gay card. I'm like, one of the kindest people I could ever know. He's a great guy. It started building back up, and I'm like, oh my God, can this get any worse? Little did I know that it was time for Moon Prism power.
Oh, so you did the Adam stuff first, and then
the Adam
you
stuff
went
first.
Yeah,
So they yes, it was like it was they beat me to death, and then they.
So this was all the same day, right? It's not like you went back.
Day. This was the longest.
All right, because Andre was asking about
excursion ever.
Oh my gosh,
you noticed it too.
Yeah.
How did you end up back there? Do we want
to
know?
How did you get out of there?
He said he didn't go back. It was all the same day.
I never. This was all the same day.
This
is all one day. This is all one day. And I was like, and actually I remember it was a Saturday, and it was the penultimate episode for that current Deep Space Nine season. And I was like, I'm getting the F out of here. And then I got out, and then what happened was, as I did my best to avoid them, they kept showing up at my house because I didn't tell them where I worked, and they kept meeting my father, who was just absolutely perplexed that they existed. Because at that point in time, people didn't have a multicolored hair, and he kept saying her fat friend reminded him of
Shawn Michaels. That's Shawn Michaels.
Listen to
Tony Curtis' character from Spartacus.
Oh God.
He was like, why is Tony Curtis and this weird Asian girl keep showing up at the house looking for you?
Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis from the Vikings, right?
I can't remember his character name from Spartacus. Was it Anthony?
In Spartacus? I thought it was the Vikings where he was with Kirk Douglas.
Is it both? I think it's both, isn't it?
Obviously, the internet will know, and maybe the chat does too.
Hold on.
See. John J999 for $1.99 says, "I've only seen Jungle Fury. I barely remember it." And
there are better Power Ranger series.
Aubrey Crown has become a Tooney Town TV member at the Tooney Town resident level. Welcome aboard, Aubrey Crown.
Welcome.
Matthew James's comment made me laugh. This is going to be my newest fanfic.
Tony Curtis played fictional slave Antoninus. So yes.
Oh, okay.
It's this weird Asian girl in Antoninus who keeps showing up at my door looking for you.
Antoninus. So one other thing I want to talk about, guys. It seems to me like if you turned woke into like a entity, right? It's losing over and over and over and over again. And we're seeing it. We saw it recently in the gaming world. Now, we're not a gaming channel. Typically for gaming stuff, I always point along to That Game Place, the That Puck Place gaming channel, where Nolan and I are both, regular hosts on there. But we do need to point out one gaming story. This is from the comics, and is that is a ad, and that is another ad. This is written by our buddy Spencer Baculi.
Spencer,
who
love you,
yeah, who I'm
Spencer.
hoping will show up tonight. I'm not sure if he will or not. And he says, and that's the game. And the whole point was Sony is ending service for Concord just 2 weeks after launch. Will issue complete refunds to all players. Now, Concord was basically an Overwatch clone. It was a shooter, it was a live action or live service shooter, and
where they slugged everybody up.
Yeah, they uggoed up everybody. There were no white dudes in the whole game. And you had to pick your character's pronouns and all this other stuff. So nobody bought it.
Is Michael Rooker going to sue them for that? That picture?
Right? It looks just like it. In a development that absolutely everyone saw coming, but definitely did not expect this soon, given the hero shooter's absolutely abysmal market performance, PlayStation has announced that they will officially be shutting the doors on Concord. Announcing the closure of the widely panned hero shooter by way of an official PlayStation blog post, Concord game director Ryan Ellis informed players that while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, no, it didn't, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Therefore, at this time, we decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th, 2024. So we're in the twilight of Concord right now, guys.
Do you know how little amount of people had to be playing that for them to prefer to shut it down already?
There were at any given time on Steam.
Did we make triple digits, like under 700?
Yeah, no, it was like under 7. I think it was like 670 people last time I saw.
Crazy.
And wasn't there a trophy that like everybody gets that people calculated it out, and there's only like 1,377 people who had played the game at that point?
Yeah,
I think I heard someone say that there probably had more people working on it than have played it.
Well, and they made the developers play it when it came out too. Like they had to be like on there to push the numbers up.
Some of those were them.
We'll play the game. We need players.
You bought like 100 copies of this game, God forbid, but if you actually bought like a ton of copies, you would literally be a percentage of the player base of this game.
Well, the thing that I saw was that people were going on to play, and they had to wait more than 10 minutes to get a game together.
I heard that too.
Seriously?
Because there's no one there.
670 something people on Steam. Now that's a great day at the office if you're AEW Fight Forever, but for any other game in the world, it's terrible.
Well, except for what is it, Dustborn or something? Where they,
yeah. We'll talk about Dustborn.
I think they had like 12 people playing at one time.
So Dustborn it kind of looks like a Telltale game almost. And Kevin, have you seen anything about Dustborn? Because this is like when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's funny. Somebody made a spoof of wokeness as a game." And I'm like, "Oh no!"
It seems like it should be a parody, but it's not.
I was like, "This game is serious as a heart attack."
Is this the game that a bunch of governments funded?
Yes. The European Union funded it in
taxpayer dollars.
I think the DoD did too, or something like that.
I believe it was the European Union in association with like Norway or something.
Am I allowed to comment on this? I feel like if I comment on it, my Instagram will be gone before this broadcast is over.
I think it's any of
Concord.
Any of this.
I think you're probably the most safe to say something out of all of us.
But like, so with Dustborn, you literally like your attacks are like cancel. Like your attack is to cancel somebody or to trigger somebody.
And basically cancel people who don't agree with you and your compatriots.
Or gaslight. Gaslight is another attack.
You jump into battle shouting, "Action required!"
God.
Kevin looks like Frankenstein's monster with the torches.
My pronouns.
You had to pick the pronouns. Announcing the closure of the widely panned hero shooter by way of an official PlayStation. Okay, so I read that part. While we determine the best path ahead, there's no path ahead. You're not coming back. Concord, just like what was that BioWare shooter, Kev? Anthem. When they were like they took Anthem down. They took
Lord.
Anthem down and they were like, we're going to revamp it and relaunch it. And that never happened.
We will be back. I was one of the people who got a collector's edition of that. Played it. It was like, oh, what have I done?
It's like at the end of like those 80s and 90s movies that never get a sequel, and they're like, "Don't worry, guys, we'll be back next movie," and then it doesn't happen.
40 years later, still a tear.
Skeletor popping out of the lava at the end of Masters of the Universe.
Yes,
it's Sinestro taking the yellow ring at the end of Green Lantern.
Gosh, it's even better.
If you purchase the game for PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. What if you purchased it from like GameStop? Are you just out of luck?
I'm assuming you can go back to GameStop and they
go back to GameStop before it goes out of business.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about the physical copies could end up being worth something. Like, do you think they'll actually go up in value as like one of the rarest games?
Meanwhile, players who were unfortunate enough to go so far as to buy a physical version of the game will need to contact a given retailer to obtain their refund through their respective processes. Okay, so Spencer cleared that up. This is Baz.
All I saw was
fight in Concord.
All I just saw when you scrolled was capital, bold, and italicized 8 years long. 8 total years. That was all my eyes.
Keeping score at home. In light of its August 23rd release date, which it finally made after 8 total years in development, it will only have existed for a total of just 2 weeks by the time its closure date eventually comes to pass.
Didn't they pay like $250 million for this game or something?
Yeah, it was over 200 million. I'll see if Spencer goes into that. 8 years, 2 weeks, less than 700 max players. Suffice to say, with these kinds of results, not only is Concord's closure, as noted above, not a surprise in the slightest, but it's likely that its complete and abject failure will go down in the history as one of the most embarrassing moments to come out of this current era of video game history.
This is what happens when you make a video game because someone said Orange Man bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
8 years is 2016.
Yeah. Yeah, really. The timing of that is perfect.
To bring this full circle, remember the Concord dev who wrote off the overwhelming outpouring criticism against the game by questioning, why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? Well, here's your answer. Because those talentless freaks don't show up. Because when those talentless freaks don't show up, your game is destined for an eventual home in the bargain or trash bin. Yeah, this isn't even going to a bargain bin because there's no live service left for it.
I feel like we need Sarah McLaughlin. What? Oh, sorry.
What was that?
Well, I was saying I feel like we need a Sarah McLaughlin song for a commercial for Concord.
In the eyes of an angel, for just $1 a day, you can dispose of your Concord copy.
It makes me wonder if they're. It makes me wonder because they have to buy like promotions and stuff like those pop-up ads you see on websites. It'd be really funny if they had one like set up to just do it automatically for like a week from now. So by the 7th day, it's like buy the new game and it's shut down. But it's crazy. They were talking a bit on that gameplay about how the game could end up becoming the physical version could become one of the rarest games for the PlayStation 5. I actually want to try to get a copy of it, and I think that controller I don't even think you can get on the website anymore. So
they had a theme controller
to the game. Yeah, it had a theme controller to the game, and it wasn't as cheap as the game.
Confident in it?
Yeah, it was like an $82 controller. So that one, I think you can at least guarantee is probably gonna be hard to find. But I think it kind of comes down to like, how many did they make, and does anybody care about this game in the future?
So, sorry about that, guys. I got booted out real quick. I assume Trish interrupted the stream to lament my absence.
No, didn't care. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Wow. I see where the line is here. All right.
You drew it, my friend. You drew it.
So an IGN writer recently railed against remember you can't spell ignorant without IGN. IGN writer Stella Chung claims PlayStation never believed in Concord after the game is shut down in less than 2 weeks. So this is written by John Trent over at That Puck Place. IGN writer Stella Chung made the absurd claim that PlayStation never believed in Firewalk Studios' Concord game. There's one that's your main character, by the way. One of your main characters here. I thought it was Dr. Robotnik without the mustache, but apparently I was wrong.
You know, people have spent more time on the moon than Concord has been around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is 100% true.
My brain is like, huh?
So she said, my heart breaks for Firewalk Studios. The fact that it was even given at least 6 months to properly sit through it. The fact that it wasn't even given at least 6 months to properly sit through a season and adjust as a proper live service game is insane to me. It's very clear PlayStation didn't believe in this from the start and failed.
Yeah, well, it's called a business, honey. Honestly.
You were bleeding money. PlayStation is set to lose like $200 million off of this game.
This game lasted shorter than a Kardashian marriage. This is ridiculous.
Heyo.
This is the kind of disaster. This is the kind of disaster that tanks studios.
Yeah.
Speaking of tanking studios, we can talk about this one. The Squad Kill the Justice League's abysmal failure has led to mass layoffs at developer Rocksteady. And yes, guys, I know that it has an actual name besides the Squad, but we have to call it the Squad because this word here is not allowed on YouTube.
The self-deletion squad.
Yes.
Deletion squad.
The unalive squad.
Mass layoffs have occurred over at Rocksteady, which, you know what? I never root for anyone to get fired, but man, if you're this bad at your job, you deserve it. But by the way, I'd like to point out that all these people got fired, but Sweet Baby Inc. got all the money it needed out of this game. It got paid, and it ran off. Kim Bel-Air ran off into the sunset with that bag.
And a lot of it's their fault. Think about that.
Oh, it's like a face sucker.
It's all their fault.
Think about
it's like a face sucker and it's like a face sucker in Alien, you know? They just use the human, which is in this case the studio, as a body for the parasite, and then once it's done with it, you're dead.
The game did so poorly that Rocksteady's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, took a $200 million impairment charge on it. During the company's first quarter earnings results webcast, CFO Gunnar Wiedenfels stated, starting with studios, the $400 million plus year-over-year decline during Q1 was primarily due to the very tough competition we faced in games against the success of Hogwarts Legacy last year in the first quarter, in conjunction with the disappointing Suicide Squad releases past quarter, which we impaired, leading to a $200 million impact on EBITDA during the first quarter. So because of this, I believe they have laid off half of their quality assurance team.
Which,
look at this.
Of
this
all
is...
things to cut, like quality assurance, like that.
I know. Maybe like, well, because they can't fire Sweet Baby Inc. They don't work for them. Kim Bel-Air got her money. Kim Bel-Air got her money and she was just on a live stream the other day railing against gamers and talking about how they had the problem.
Yes, the paying customer.
Yeah, customer's the problem with the business.
How dare the people who prop up our industry have an opinion on things that they like? Action
required. This is their Victoria Freeze, Mrs. Freeze, who basically they may look like a butch gym teacher. She's about 3 enormous dogs away from being my high school gym teacher.
Is she wearing a keyblade on her back?
I mean, you might as well be. So during this was recently a 24-hour peak of 144 players for Suicide Squad on Steam with 52 players at that moment.
You did?
Oh, I said the word, didn't I? Oh, well, we're done.
It's like Pee Wee Herman.
Only it's YouTube that screams at you.
Show me.
Algorithm suppressed demonetization in moments.
Now the only thing deleted is our money.
Is that the guy from Breaking Bad?
It does kind of look like him.
I thought it was
Gustavo Fring
from
I can't unsee it.
It's like a cross between him and the chief from the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego show.
Gumshoes, Patty Larceny is on the loose, and we need you to stop them. And ask yourselves this question: where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Love that show.
I'm pretty sure I could probably sing the lyrics to that.
Well,
Like,
do
I
it
might-
acapella.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm not going to. But like, I think I could. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's probably pretty solid in here.
Shoot, bop.
Shoot, bop.
Shoot, bop. Shoot. Come on, I'm giving you the background music. Bow.
Well, what? It wasn't an invitation. I'm just saying. I feel like
she
that's something
speaks
that's
around the world from Berlin to Carolina. She's a sticky finger filter from Belarus down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a something China.
Slow
Tell me
boat.
where
in the world?
You had everything else but slow boat to
No.
China.
he didn't. 'Cause
everything
it's from
No, I
Kiev
had
to
to- I had
Carolina.
to- Yeah, I'm I murmured my way through some of the lyrics that I didn't
You
know.
did.
Gorman. I love that show. I actually made Mrs. Movie Monster watch it with me on YouTube because she had never seen it.
I love how
Did
at
you
the
like it?
end,
Yeah.
I love how at the end some kids got the map of the United States and other people got like you were the one with, I'm horrible with geography. Was
Okay.
like, oh, where's Madagascar? Like I learned where Madagascar was because
Okay, no, so here's the thing.
Welcome to the
That ending thing?
European bloc.
That ending thing where you have to try to actually catch Carmen San Diego, like that's impossible to do. Like it was so difficult to do. Nobody ever won. Carmen
unless
San
you had
Diego
the
always
United
got
States.
away. Yeah.
The American children knew where the American states were, and that was it.
Yeah.
Every time that came up, I'm like, well, this kid's lucky.
Fast
Now,
forward.
as someone who didn't get a chance to see the show, like you're saying that at the end a kid needed to catch San Diego. I'm picturing like a small kid and like it's like a grown woman falling out of the sky and they have to like catch her
No.
before she hits the ground.
No, so it was a giant map that they would say what country Carmen San Diego was in, and you would have to
put, like,
take
a
a
light.
big pole, a big pole with a light on it, and run over to the country where she is and put the light down. And if you were right, it would light up. It was really
That's
hot.
kind of awesome.
It was cool.
It's
Check it
all
out on YouTube.
Nolan. Yeah, it's all on
I
YouTube.
will, and I'll keep you
Fall
all
in love
posted
with
on
the
my
theme
thoughts.
song.
Side note to I made my watch Zoobly Zoo for the first time on Sunday because I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
some crazy stuff.
Magic and
It was
wonder
on
are
YouTube.
waiting for you. Sorry.
Was Nipsey Russell in that?
yes. 'Cause
Really?
I remember looking up the cast. I was like, I know who Ben Vereen is, but I don't know who anybody else is, and I need to know if they all did something.
No, it was Ben
I
Vereen.
sh-
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, is that who you
Well,
meant
my-
instead of Nipsey Russell?
While my friend and I were waiting to go into Halloween Horror Nights last week, I showed her the opening of Dumbo Circus because she had never heard of it.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
god.
I
Do you
love
guys remember Dumbo Circus?
I
I
love
I
don't.
could
Dumbo.
probably sing that song.
Well, you're about to hear it because I'm going to play it. Here we go. Experience the horror. High and higher.
I love this.
Dumbo Circus.
This is so of the time.
You're
I
not
love
even
it.
trying.
By the way, this was before my time. I saw it on reruns whenever we'd have free Disney.
Yes, and whenever
Okay.
you had free Disney, they pulled out all the stops. This and the Winnie the Pooh one.
Welcome to Pooh Corner.
Oh, like the Kenny Loggins song?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but they didn't. I remember that mangy cat's name was Sebastian because it was the first time I had ever heard that name before.
I would watch Dumbo Circus while waiting for the USA Cartoon Express to come on.
Oh, USA Cartoon Express.
Those were the days.
They were. I remember that dog's name was Barnaby because I had a stuffed dog named Barnaby when I was a kid. Almost positive.
I loved everything about that.
Yeah, that was Dumbo Circus. And Welcome to Pooh Corner was pretty cool also, but I think they only had like Tigger was the only regular voice, but I digress. So let's talk more about woke things failing because the people at Dustborn have a few things to say about their lack of success. Dustborn developer Red Thread Games claims response to game has been drowned out by a tidal wave of hate and abuse.
Oh,
There it is in all
Like,
its
you
glory.
didn't know what you were doing when you made the game. Like, miss me with it. I'm not here for it. Like,
You're
you're so
courting it.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
poking people. You're poking people with a sharp stick and then getting mad when they go, ouch. Stop doing that. In a post to the company's official account on X, it wrote, since we first announced Dustbowl, we've read your comments and listened to your feedback, hopes, and wishes for the game. Over the past 4 years, our team has poured their hearts into telling a story that's deeply meaningful to us. A story about the power of words, about building a world where everyone can feel safe, about love, friendships, and robots, of course. Kevin Apollo, are you all right? The company continued, we expect Dustborn to spark conversation and debate and looked forward to engaging with our partners in a positive and constructive fashion. Unfortunately, that conversation has been drowned out by a tidal wave of hate and abuse.
Because your game sucked.
Well, the tidal wave indicates very large, so maybe like evaluate that one a little bit. If it was as large as a tidal wave, if it could get that large.
So the tidal wave of hate to your game is large, but your player base is very small. What does that tell you about the game?
It's like that. It's like that meme of Skinner where it's like, no, it's the kids who are wrong. That's like what I always see. Yeah, it's what I see all the time. It's like, oh, millions of people are pissed at us about this, and these 14 aren't. No, it's those kids. It's their fault.
Dreaded enemy, self-reflection.
Trish, is it bad? I thought you were being like, it's like that Skinner meme. It's like steamed hams. And I'm like, wait, what?
It then declared, we welcome thoughtful feedback and respectful criticism. No, you don't. We embrace discussion and debate. No, you don't. But we have zero tolerance for hate speech, harassment, and threats of any kind. Those who engage in such behavior will be removed from our community. The only people I ever see throwing threats around are the people that would support this game. Just saying.
Like, what community? The community of 12 people that are playing? Like,
yeah. To everyone else, thank you for coming on this journey with us. Your support means everything, and your constructive feedback continues to push us to learn and evolve. Together, let's continue building a world where everyone can feel valued and empowered to share their stories.
Except all the people who don't like it. You're not allowed to share your story about it.
Of note, the company turned off replies and did not provide any evidence of hate speech, harassment, or threats because they never.
We welcome your stories, except those.
Meanwhile, our friend Awful Wrestling from Tooney Talk Wrestling literally posted today an AEW fan wishing death upon him and his family. Like, it's not that hard to copy paste that stuff.
That's a totally rational reaction.
It's a pretty normal thing in the life of the internet wrestling community. So not only did Red Thread Games make the statement, but so did the game's publisher, Quantic Dream. It posted, we want to express our heartfelt support for our partners at Red Thread Games. We stand united against hate. You know, I hate this. Whenever people stop pushing back on one of these projects, we get the we stand united against hate. Like this is like you're listening to the I Have a Dream speech. No, you're not freedom fighters. You just made a bad game that people don't like. Furthermore, ex-user Madam Savvy, who played the game, notes the game encourages and approves of deception, manipulation, and bullying. She wrote as part of a lengthy response to Red Thread Games. You want to tell a story about the power of words? Why did you choose to use words of hate and hurt for the main character? Why are we forced to use words of violence against our own friends? These are unavoidable moments in the game, no matter what you do. She questioned, you say you want to build a world where everyone can feel safe, then why did every single person we've come across have their life ruined by the player character and the group? Why aren't the powers of packs something like salve and healing? Why is everything based on manipulation? She continued, where was the love when we bullied Fred and lied about her? Pax's mother grows opium for a cult that's never mentioned again. Is that love? Why would she put her own people in danger by growing opium of all things? It's a highly addictive drug, and it can be used to keep people compliant. I'm sure you understand what I am insinuating. She then reiterated.
I was about to do that.
Is it friendship when we are forced to manipulate our friends to bully Theo? Why can't we prank Sai when she pranks? Well, while she prays, but we can prank Theo, who has done nothing wrong. Okay, why can't we prank Sai when she prays, but we can prank Theo, who has done nothing wrong?
Wait, is praying something wrong?
No,
because the construction of that sentence.
I know it's a weird sentence, but I'm assuming it means, you know, we're probably not allowed because she's probably praying to like Allah or something. For you to write what you did, you must like modern SpongeBob Squidward torture episodes where he doesn't do anything to deserve it.
That's the ultimate insult.
Man, Squidward used to call it down upon him. Like Bugs Bunny and the opera singer. Like, he didn't ask for that. So yeah, this game just absolutely atrocious. We've also seen Star Wars Outlaws, aka the Ugly Girl Simulator.
Rocky Dennis the game.
Rocky Dennis the game sales 55% lower than Star Wars Jedi Survivor in the United Kingdom. So yeah,
you sweet baby ink.
My sweet baby ink.
My sweet baby ink.
Sweet baby ink, that hurt.
I can't.
Oh, Lorne's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lorne Connor. I'm sorry, I was looking away.
Hey, folks.
Lorne, we have seen the destruction of Star Wars Outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this comes as no shock to you.
Yes.
Lorne not caring at all.
Look at all the surprise on Lorne's face.
I'm just waiting for him to say, just as planned.
It's just, I mean, this is forecast months ago. We knew what this was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
I'm honestly tired of everybody talking about it because it's like, we done told you, folks. It's like, if you weren't going to improve it, then what's the point? Have you seen what's been going on with things like Concord and Dustboard? I mean, you were just talking about it. I mean, what are we doing here? We're destroying an industry for no reason. Personally, I'm really excited about all the indie developers. You've got so many people that actually are talented developers who are having enough of this stuff and going off and doing their own thing. I fully support these people. Form your independent studios. Let's get back to producing some quality work.
Now, I want to say about Star Wars Outlaws that I think it's promoting an unhealthy body image because no man is going to be able to have a jaw that chiseled and awesome as their main protagonist.
Not even Sergeant Slaughter can achieve a jawline like that.
Yeah, it's just silly. All of this is silly. I can't even get worked up about it anymore. There's no reason for me to increase my blood pressure any more than has already been done. I see what they're doing. I'm done with it. They can go. They're going to ruin themselves. Eventually, you run out of people who are willing to pay for this, and then you're going to be crying and asking, why didn't you support us? It's like, we gave you every possible opportunity. We gave you every chance. We told you exactly what you needed to do to earn our support, and you spit in our faces. I feel no sympathy.
Do you remember the optimism when Star Wars was purchased by Disney?
I do.
I do too. I was so excited. I like screamed. It was like so. It was. Man,
we're finally getting episode 7 after I've been begging for years.
We heard Luke, Han, and Leia were back. That was the first thing they said. We're going to continue the movies with Luke, Han, and Leia, and we were all like, "Oh my god, yes!"
It was
so young and naive.
It was optimism tinged with trepidation. I was excited that they were doing it, but I was worried about what they might do. And it turns out that those fears were very well founded, even though I tried to talk myself into liking what they did. Eventually, there comes a point where you can't deny these people are hacks and they don't care. So I feel you're not going to be able to guilt me into feeling sorry for criticizing this garbage that they've wrought. There are so many talented creators out there that can do so much better work than these spoiled brats that are being paid millions of dollars. Yeah, you're not going to get me to cry for you. Your life is infinitely better than mine, and you're working a lot less hard than I am. So call me all the names you want. I don't care.
Yep. Bingo, Lon. Now I'm sure you saw the Acolyte freaks coming out of the woodwork to try to cancel Nerdrotic and Ryan Kinel and Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that rewriting Ripley has resurfaced and is apparently still going was kind of amazing to me.
So, tell me a bit about rewriting Ripley. Is it true? Because someone told me that he was connected to Lucasfilm in some way.
Now this is going back a ways, and so my memory is a little bit spotty, but it was definitely a coordinated campaign, and I do believe that there were ties internally, but I'd have to go back and research it again to figure out who and how they were all connected. I thought when they were exposed that they had just sort of ran for the hills. I didn't think they were going to pop up again. So I think they probably have done the calculation that they think that there's some momentum with this Resurrect the Acolyte campaign, and they probably think there's enough distance between when they were last exposed that they can get away with this garbage. It's like, go ahead and try and cancel these guys. Good luck. God bless you. Go ahead and just smash your face into that wall, because they're not going anywhere.
That's the thing. Their audience is in the millions, and I don't think the Acolytes was.
No, certainly not. I mean, the viewership numbers don't lie. It's like, look, I keep saying this. I didn't see the show, okay? And there are people that criticized me for not watching the show and yet commenting on it. But I didn't need to. I could see what they were doing, and I could hear what you guys were telling me. I knew this wasn't for me. Why would I give you money to watch something I know I will hate? And in fact, it ended up being better for my mental health, because I could just sit back and go, I am totally baffled by everything that you're saying, but I know I don't like it.
Lauren, they say that laughter is really good for your mental health, so that would make sense.
I don't know that I could even laugh at this. It's just the same thing. You were talking about the indifference on my face while you're talking about Outlaws. That's where it's at now. It's like, I just don't care.
It's like
I love Pro every week after an episode of the Acolyte, Pro would have a Acolyte after party, and it was like me and Pro and Culture and Jonas and a whole bunch. But Lorne was always there, and Lorne didn't watch the show, so it would just be Lorne listening to us talking about it, and you just watch him just shake his head. It was the best. It was the best idea Pro ever had, was to put you on that panel, having you have not seen the show. I loved it.
Well, I in the Acolyte's defense, I will say this. I was impressed that they actually put cortosis in there. They didn't do cortosis right. And I thought that it was one of the things that I get a little worried about when we do these type of reaction videos is that there is a tendency to pile on, because people don't like it and you want to get in every shot that you can. But when Pro was talking about, is there anything that you've ever heard of that'll just shut lightsabers off like that? And I'm sitting there thinking, actually, there is. Describe it to me. And so as they kept giving me more details, it's like, yep, I'm pretty sure that's cortosis. Now, I don't think that they did it right, but I do appreciate that there was an effort there to put in something that is actually for guys like me. I do think this is something that Disney probably, they get dinged for, and I do feel sometimes it's a little unfair, because as fanboys, we want all of that minutia in there, all of that trivia that we love, because it's what builds up the universe. But you have to think of the casual fans who don't read the books, who don't read the comics, who don't play the games, who won't know any of this stuff. And there's no way that you can introduce that without a ton of exposition. Now, I think you could have done cortosis with some minor exposition, but that's really hard to write properly. The best exposition I have ever seen in any movie or TV show is actually when Obi-Wan is giving Luke the dump about galactic history in episode 4, because it comes across so naturally. This is actually a normal conversation that Obi-Wan would have to have with Luke, because Luke is us. He doesn't know squat about what's going on. And when you drop those little nuggets like, your father fought in the Clone Wars, that's a throwaway line. It meant nothing. It's just a thing that provides, oh yeah, your dad and Obi-Wan fought in some conflict in the past. But that's the kind of thing that sparks the audience's imagination. That's brilliant when you can pull it off. But it takes a really skilled writer to do it correctly. And that's not what they had on The Acolyte or most of the shows that they've been putting out.
And Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness was a real talent that, in a way, was wasted on Star Wars.
Yeah, he was famously not happy at all with the dialogue or the part, especially after George decided mid-production to kill him. But he was a professional and he
Yeah.
did his job, and you have to respect that performance. I'm a little sad that he didn't. He felt that it became an obsession amongst the youth, and he thought that that was dangerous. And I'm sorry that he felt that way, but I can understand it too. This was a man with a storied cinematic history.
Yeah.
And what he'll always be known for is Obi-Wan, a part that he took as a lark, basically.
Yeah, and when you've got that many movies in the Criterion Collection, like The Man in the White Suit and Bridge over the River Kwai, amazing stuff, and you're going to play Space Wizard, and that's what everybody's going to come up to you about for the next rest of your life.
That's probably
And
hard
after
to
his
live with.
life.
Yeah.
It's like remember the guy that played Herman Munster, like hated anything to do with the
Fred Gwynn, yeah.
Munster.
Guy went to
Hated
Yale.
Yeah, he was like an actor's actor, and all anybody wanted was to talk to him about the Munsters. And I had heard about an interviewer. It might have been Stuttering John. If not, it was just somebody who just was clueless, because they were like, "Hey, don't ask him about the Munsters." And the first question was, "So how's Eddie?" God, the Munsters.
I remember watching him on Nick at Night in Car 54. Where are you?
Yes.
Yep.
He was the judge. He was the judge in My Cousin Vinny
With the Utes.
Excuse me, Mr. Tortellini. What is a Ute?
Oh, I love it. They're saying in the chat like Christopher Lee getting fed up with Dracula.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Only to come back and play Count Dooku, which I think is kind of funny.
I know. Man. Hold on, I'm looking at what we're going to go to next. Yes. So, speaking of things that are failing, we do have to talk a bit about the Rings of Power this week. Yeah. Man, oh man, Martin Stone, is this show a slog and a half or what?
It is, but the thing that I actually was the ray of hope to me was the thing I thought they would do the worst, and they sort of did, was Tom Bombadil.
See, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen episode 4.
Is that okay? All right.
Did I spoil episode 4
I was going to watch
for
after
you?
the show.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'll somehow survive.
Yeah, it's just boring. It's so boring. He does sing a little.
There'd be joy and whimsy if he sang, and I'm sure that's not allowed.
No, there's okay. So I actually don't. Yeah, obviously, Tolkien fandom. There's a lot of ways to slice it, but you either like Tom Bombadil or you don't. I kind of like him. A lot of people don't. I don't mind the Celtic mythological whimsy that Tom Bombadil brings to the table.
Here's my issue with Tom Bombadil. He comes out of nowhere and has no effect on the overarching plot.
Right.
None. And they even bring up like a fascinating mystery with the fact that he puts the ring on and nothing happens.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care about anything outside of his woods. Tom Bombadil is an Easter egg that Tolkien put in for himself.
For himself?
Yeah, it was Tom Bombadil and Goldberry. That was like a poem that he wrote to entertain himself and his kids. And he included that in The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard, have you ever heard the theory that he's Eru Ilúvatar?
Yes, I know that Tolkien addressed that in one of his letters too, and he's like, no, he's just one of the first.
Yeah, I think it would be really funny if Eru Ilúvatar was just hanging out in the woods, getting high and banging some blonde chick. That's essentially what he's doing, what he does. But yeah, so the Tom Bombadil stuff, it comes out of left field in the book. It takes forever to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just never liked it. But how do they bring him in Rings of Power?
Well, so spoiler alert, but not Gandalf is sort of wandering around the desert. And he finally gets to where he thinks he needs to go. Oh, by the way, he's following stars. And when he arrives at a location in the middle of the day, he's like, "Oh, this is where I'm supposed to be." Middle of the day, following stars.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying. And then Tom Bombadil is there singing to himself. By the way, look out for this. The tune he's singing to is like 90% Kashmir by Zeppelin.
What?
Yeah.
Da-da-da, da-da-da,
so
da-da-da.
So they've taken Tom Bombadil's songs and set it to Kashmir, which is fine with me because Zeppelin loved them some Tolkien
Yeah, they
and
did.
some Token. But so he meets up with Tom Bombadil, who's singing for Mothership, and he gets eaten by a tree. Tom Bombadil gets him out of that little scrape, and he's been separated from the not hobbits, who find another group of not hobbits.
Ugh.
But they're not the same
hobbits.
group of not
The
hobbits.
not hobbits are so annoying. I'm like, look, if you're not allowed to use hobbits, why are you using hobbits?
Right. Well, there's so many things about the timeline that just don't make sense. Like,
How about the fact that they call the orcs uruks?
yeah, that's later. Well,
that bothers the heck out of me because uruks and orcs are two very different things. Uruks were Urukai, and because they're created by Sauron, by Saruman in the Third Age during the War of the Rings. So they're not uruks. I'm sorry, it's not another word for orc. I don't know.
Right.
So he sees Tom. Does Tom Bombadil finally help him get the staff, because that's like what he's been trying to do the whole time, right? Is get his staff.
Well, no. And he also, not Gandalf wants to learn magic.
Okay.
And so Tom Bombadil is going to teach him magic.
Oh.
But not yet, because there's still 4 more episodes.
Right, of course.
And Tom Bombadil taught a dark wizard before.
Oh, the dark wizard that could have been a person of color because of like everything that happened, but they chose like the whitest man alive to play him.
Yeah, that's the one. And
the one that it actually would have made sense
right.
to make him a person of color, but instead they cast the whitest human being alive.
Right. And I'm not a great Tolkien scholar. I've read the Silmarillion, I've read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
Right.
But I it's not my religion, as it is with some people. But there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't stack up right. Like, for instance, the elves run into barrow wights, but I'm pretty sure barrow wights don't happen until the Third Age, when there's a plague and the Dunedain start dying out. But I think they're introducing the plague now, even though it's like the beginning of the Second Age. It's not good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound
But
good.
Rory Kinnear does a great job playing this character, who's not exactly Tom Bombadil, but clearly an homage to Tom Bombadil and Zeppelin.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate what they're doing with Sauron. I mean, that is despicable to me.
Yeah.
Like, they're basically trying to make like, oh, well, he's not all bad. Like look, he's shades of gray. It's like, he's Sauron.
Speaking of shades of gray, I'm relatively certain that Celebrimbor is being seduced by Sauron.
Oh no!
Speaking of shades of gray.
Oh,
shades of
dear
gay?
Lord, no. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Okay.
And by the way, so the Ring has unlocked a new level of power for Galadriel, and she keeps getting visions of the future, but none of those visions of the future involve her husband or daughter. You would think she'd want to look into that.
Oh, because we can't take her agency away. That was what they
Right.
said. That was why Celebrimbor is not in there, because we can't take away Galadriel's agency. Well, anyway, so Sauron actually goes before Adar and says, "Let my people go."
When Sauron was in Mordor land?
He's supposed to be Satan. Like, he's the deceiver, the liar, the prince of lies, essentially. Tolkien was a devout Catholic. Sauron is very clearly Satan, and they're giving him a Moses line to say. What on earth are they doing over there, Martin?
They're calling good evil and evil good.
Well, it's not working, whatever they're doing, because the Rings of Power season 2 has, let's see here. Premiere viewership reportedly suffers nearly 50% decline from season 1. So go ahead.
Before you get too far, now are they pretending that we're supposed to be counting all the South and Central American Prime memberships where you had to watch the first season? Well, as views, or like are like it's?
I think these are just U.S. households in this one.
Okay, so
Wait a second.
We did everything in our power to spike that number. The first, during the first season.
Did they give free memberships to people contingent on watching Rings of Power? Because that's a little genius.
Yeah,
I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah,
It's something.
It's South and Central America. If they gave you the free Prime membership, but you had to watch the first 2 episodes, and then after the first 2 episodes, when we saw that major drop in the first season, but we had the inflated number because you were forced to watch the first 2 episodes.
I'd rather just pay the money
to not have to watch. Yeah,
my time is more valuable. It's like, what are we doing here? Why would I? That's like
2 hours of my life worth.
Yeah, I mean, not only just 2 hours, but it's agony having to watch. I'm not even a Lord of the Rings fan, but I know that these guys are doing the Acolyte for people who are. It's like, just don't do it.
So the new season of Rings of Power is out with 902,000 U.S. households tuning in over the last 5 days. That's over 5 days to watch the first episode. 902,000, all right? In 2022, House of the Dragon reigned over huge hits for 4-day viewership, including Wednesday, The Watcher, Harry and Meghan, and even Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. However, they do say that back in February 2023, following the conclusion of the show's first season, Sama TV revealed that the premiere episode of the show was watched by 1.8 million U.S. households. So that is almost 50% down from that. That is pretty much 50%. It's 2,000 away from being 50% down from season 1's premiere date. That's atrocious. The hacks that make this show have also decided to try to explain why they're attempting to humanize orcs. Because,
what?
Yes, there's an orc family. These two J.J. Abrams disciples, these cultural vandals, these arsonists, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay.
Scroll that picture back up. Look at these guys. Now, I want you to imagine hitting both of them in the face with a pie.
Nothing that'll hurt them, just a pie. Maybe blueberry, maybe a banana cream.
I feel like the one on the left.
I don't mean this in a mean way, but do you guys notice that if you merge these dudes together, they would actually look exactly like J.J. Abrams? They got the pose, the glasses, the facial structure.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe J.J. Abrams was split in 2.
I feel like the one on the left is going to riddle me something.
I know.
I see it.
Oh, God. So apparently one of them is a Tolkien fan, supposedly, and the other one is just a loser.
I've heard he can speak Elvish.
Fantasy.
Yes. In the second season's 3rd episode, one orc is depicted questioning going to war and is then shown embracing a female orc with a young orc baby, with the obvious implication that the orc questioning going to war is the father and husband of the female orc and child. Speaking to Deadline about the scene, J.D. Payne declared, from the beginning of this season, we talked about the idea of having with an arc, and we feel like this goes straight back to Tolkien. It doesn't. You read the books and you get these blips of moments where orcs are kind of on their own and they're saying, hey, what if one day there could be a place for us? We could have our own little land, our own little cottage by the sea, so to speak, where they have dreams, they have aspirations. They don't just want to be mindless killing machines. Are you kidding me?
I would be more interested in a movie.
Martin, what were you saying?
Tolkien himself did write about how he was tempted to say that the orcs were irredeemable, but no one is irredeemable. It's just not going to happen. Like, so Tolkien, being a devout Catholic, believed that anyone could be redeemed. That there was, you could at any time choose to follow the good and righteous path. It's just not going to happen with the orcs. No. They're broken and defeated and evil themselves. They may hate their master, but they serve him because they serve evil. Because evil is afraid and fearful and angry and all these awful things. That doesn't mean they're an oppressed group, which is another thing. There's been this thing for a long time in fantasy where people have tried to say certain fantasy characters represent certain races. If you believe that, I want you to look really deep inside yourself, because that's racist.
Yeah. From there, Payne said, Tolkien has this idea that evil can't create anything. It can only corrupt. Yes, and you are the living embodiment of that. Where the hell does he get off actually referencing that quote? Because J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay are the embodiment of the Tolkien quote that evil cannot create anything. It can only corrupt that which good has made. That the elves, these amazing, beautiful creatures, could be corrupted into orcs was fascinating to us. And so the idea of Adar as the missing link between the two to get his story as who he was as an elf and how and why he was turned, and then to see where that could lead him in terms of being the father of an entire race, that felt really compelling to us. What the actual F? I can't with this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Hey, look, villains are motivated by things that in their own heads make them think they're the hero of their own story, and that can make for really compelling drama. And so orcs who have dimension, who have things they care about, benefits all the stories in our mind. It benefits no one and nothing. You are hacks. You are putrid hacks. Oh, I hate it. I hate it, guys. I hate it. Did Kevin pass out? I just came back and saw that he's gone.
Yeah, Payne said something else, and this is not so much a Lord of the Rings thing, it's been sticking to my craw since I read it a week ago. He talked about how season 1 was like setting the chessboard, and now the game is afoot. If you are a professional writer, you need to know that if you set a chessboard, you're not hunting. Game is afoot is a hunting reference. The game is now running. That's why Sherlock Holmes uses the phrase. Please don't mix that metaphor. Thank you.
Yes.
Stupid people pretending to be clever. Brought to you by
stupid people.
Well, like every major studio right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really.
Well, it's the old thing. Like you can't create you can't create characters that are smarter than you, and we've seen that in spades through this with all these J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams is responsible for just the destruction of modern popular culture. Because Jennifer Salke, these guys, they're all his disciples. And yeah, it's just absolutely despicable. All righty, let's get to some super chats. I saw a couple of them came through. Let's see.
Since he cut her hair in season 2.
Matthew James for $2 says design characters people want to be or bang. That is that's pretty much it. John JD 999 for $1.99. My heart breaks. The dramatics is too much for me. JPS became a member of the Tooney Town TV channel. So welcome aboard, JPS. I believe he became a Tooney Town tenant. John JID 999 for $1.99 says, I'm doing what Lorne's doing with Rings of Power, as in not watching it and being content with not watching it.
Bless you, my son.
Tooney Town TV, myself, gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships. So we've got a whole bunch of new members, and I hope you guys enjoy the content that we're going to be coming out with. We're going to probably be doing I posted a poll for members over on the community tab to see if you'd rather Friday, next Friday or next Monday for our first members only live stream. So just let me know. And Matthew James for $2. Thank you very much. Says best part of 40K is orcs relishing being orcs. Yeah. Okay. Moving along. So, we're talking about all these things that, woke is losing out there in the market right now. I was on a video with Pro recently, and we kind of broke down just Disney animation, where we took a look at how much money are they losing with virtue signaling, and we compared Inside Out 2 and the amount of money that make. It is now officially the highest grossing animated film of all time, beating out what Disney has finally admitted was the highest grossing animated film of all time, The Lion King remake from 2019. Because for years, they've insisted it's a live action remake, but now that it's convenient, they have finally decided to admit that it is a fully 100% animated film.
Well, yeah, they weren't training actual lions to act on. Like, that's insane.
But they were always very careful to never call it an animated movie. But now that Inside Out 2 broke its record, they're like, oh, it was the highest animated film of all time. But we did the math based on like flops like Lightyear and Strange Worlds and and Wish, and like what they made versus what they could have made, and they lost something in the neighborhood of $2.15 billion from that.
Oh,
think about with all the stuff that they like to espouse in the message. Like, think about the good they actually could do with $2 billion for the causes that they feel they're backing, instead of just putting it into it's just shameful when you think about it, because it's not, I know every little dollar helps people who are in need, but I mean 2 billion of them, that's like actual difference making money, and they're flushing it down the drain while pretending like they care about that stuff. And it just like it annoys me about that, because those numbers are so extraordinarily high. Yeah.
Here's a question for you. What's worse? Someone who's blunt and knows that they're evil, or someone who pretends to be good but does nothing but evil?
Pretends.
Yeah.
Well said.
I'd rather you slap me in the face than stab me in the back. You know? So.
Agreed.
Jamie Earhart for $5 Canadian. Is it just me, or have they forgotten the basic premise and beats of storytelling? Instead, they're trying to fit a square story in a round book. That's 100% true, Jamie. The Sauron stuff especially. Like, we see Sauron in, I guess, his previous form, trying to, like, basically be like, I'm in charge now that Melkor is dead, and the orcs turn on him, which the orcs should not be able to turn on him, and just stab him until he turns into a floopy black venom symbiote. That just like rolls around like a turd until somebody rolls over it with their cart, and then like it gets into the back of the cart and then eats the lady, and then it can turn into a person.
Why is he even giving them a campaign speech? Vote for Sauron. You know, it's
that is stolen.
Not follow me.
Oh, it's gonna bug me.
It felt familiar to me too, but yeah. Oh, and then Sauron, Matthew James points out, Sauron almost went west because then he doubled down and took over. Sauron for a second toyed with the idea of not going back, of just kind of going to live his life like a normal guy, until Galadriel pulled him back in. Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in like he's Michael Corleone.
I'm gonna go west with Fievel.
Yeah. All right. One of the last things I want to talk about tonight is a bit of a theme park thing. So Harry Potter Land now coming to Epic Universe. We got a look at what they are doing with the new Ministry of Magic area. I feel bad that Erica left because she tuned into that park place and left before we talked about it last time, and now she left before we're talking about it this time.
Yeah, she was who I was talking to a little bit in the chat. I feel bad she's not here.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm talking a little Harry Potter here, folks. All right. So let's take a look at this new details revealed for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter has been part of Universal Destinations and Experiences for 14 years, and next year.
By the way, this guy right here, Peter Van Roden, he is not the head of themed entertainment for Universal. He's the head for Warner Brothers, so he has decidedly less to do than the person who would be in charge of Universal. Themed entertainment for Warner Brothers.
Year, fans will get even more magic to discover. For Back to Hogwarts, we wanted to celebrate by bringing fans details about.
All right, so let's look at this right here. This is Epic Universe. You enter at Celestial Park, You have the Helios Hotel here at the end of it, and that's going to be a hotel that leads into the theme park directly. You've got Super Nintendo World, which is the thing I'm most excited about. Dark Universe, which is Universal Monsters. How to Train Your Dragon, The Island of Berk, and Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. So,
about the magic at Epic Universe.
We've continued to bring the storytelling to the next level, and this is just the next way we're doing it.
As you know, you'll be able to explore the streets of 1920s Paris, shop for beautiful new wands at Cosme Acajor, explore the...
What do you think about that, Trish?
I mean, I'm
Explore
sure it'll be...
1920s Wizarding Paris?
The great thing about what they have about Harry Potter now is you feel like you're in that world. You're like living in it. You're getting to be... I don't know. The connection to 1920s Paris just isn't going to be there. Like, it could be great. It could be well done. It could be beautiful. All that. And I'm sure people will have fun in it. But I don't think it's going to hit the same way. You know, half the reason you want to go is I want to go to Diagon Alley. You know what I mean?
Well, but you could already do.
No, I'm saying that's half the reason I want to go to that. You know?
Right. You go to Diagon Alley, you go to Hogsmeade, you go to Hogwarts.
I want to go to the world. So
yeah, so like going to the Ministry of Magic is going to be cool, but how do you connect 1920s Paris to I guess early 2000s London? London. I don't know. It's weird.
Or the wonders of Le Cercle Arcanu, and for the first time, fans will get to step inside the British Ministry of Magic.
Guests are going to walk through the Floo Passage and see the Ministry of Magic at its.
So that's the thing. You go through the Floo Passage.
That is really cool.
You go through the Floo Passage in order to get into the Ministry. Now, I'm assuming it's going to be like smoke and lights and stuff like that, and a door opens behind you. I also am worried about crowd control for something like this because it seems like a thing that a lot of people are gonna want to go through, and it's gonna create something of a bottleneck, but I'm sure they've got that figured out.
Yeah,
full scale, full glory, full glam.
So look, this is what it's gonna look like inside.
Look at her.
Yeah,
in stripes.
It looks
like
great.
That.
She was
way she belongs, man.
Exactly. She was so annoying in the movie. This lane just keeps getting better and better.
The actress was phenomenal at it because you just wanted it was terrible.
She played it too well.
When I read the book, that was not how I imagined her. I always imagined her more Toad-like.
Yeah.
In the book she's described that way, but whatever.
Glamour.
The atrium is just an unbelievable space.
You'll see the Fountain of Magical Brethren statue restored to its rightful state, flying memos swirling through the atrium, and finally...
How are we getting flying memos swirling through the atrium? That's what I want to know. Like,
maybe
that
they'll
seems
be
really
on like a mechanism.
I
So
don't
they'll
know.
just
Yeah,
be
maybe like on a maybe on like string, like thin strings, and they kind of like send it from one
or
end to
some
the
like
other.
big
I can
like
see that.
mobile kind of thing where it can just like spin around and
you'll see the beautiful enchanted weather ceiling above.
Go ahead.
I hope they don't cheapen out and like use projectors. I really hope they use like an animatronic or something like that. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
This is the biggest thing that we've ever built.
It's here in the atrium you'll discover it's the day of the trial of Dolores Umbridge as you enter the new attraction, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry.
The scale and detail of this ride is truly epic. I think it's going to be one of the great rides in the world.
We experience scenes that we've seen in the films, but also scenes that we've...
So it looks like the queue is going to take you all through the Ministry, and that's pretty cool.
that is cool.
never seen before. Here in the locker room, we see evidence that Harry, Ron, and Neville are in training to become Aurors.
That's cool.
Oh, Neville. I'm assuming this supposed to be Neville's sweater in the locker.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Well, so we know, so apparently, we were talking about this on that Park Place. We know Neville eventually becomes the herbology professor at Hogwarts. Apparently, it was official canon set down by JK that Neville trained to be an Auror, decided he didn't like it, and then went back to be there to take over for Sprout.
Which
I
is
said,
for
like,
Neville.
to which I was like, yeah, it makes sense that the the Auror office would hear that this kid pulled the sword of Godric Gryffindor out of the sorting hat and
ended a Horcrux.
Yeah, and ended a Horcrux. So yeah, maybe we should take a look at him. But
I think fans are going to be most excited for being able to encounter past ministers of magic in the Hall of Ministers.
So
that's pretty cool. In all
That
of
is
the
cool.
all the portraits will all be alive and talking to each other, and it's all past ministers of magic. Though this room looks very plain, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but
don't
I
know.
guess maybe they're putting all the focus. You're going to be looking at those portraits. You know what I
So
mean?
fun to see the eras of ministers interacting with one another, from 1700s Scamp to 1980s Bagnold.
There's a map room that shows us a magical moving map of the ministry.
You'll walk through the Auror's headquarters where you'll see them gathering in.
Oh, that's neat. I don't think we ever saw the Auror's headquarters before, right?
Not that I'm aware of off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
not that I'm aware of either.
Information for cases. Here, the most discerning fans will find plenty of Easter eggs, including a tribute to fallen Aurors.
We get to walk through Umbridge's small but extremely ornate pink and gold ministry office.
One of the really fun characters that we are going to meet in this adventure is Higgledy, Umbridge's former house elf.
Higgledy.
Higgledy.
You ready to meet Higgledy, Trish?
Sure, why not? We haven't met people who only saw the movies, didn't even meet Winky, but we'll meet Higgledy. But
Yeah, we couldn't meet Winky, but we have to get Higgledy.
Is packing her office up in preparation for the trial.
And yes, of course, there are plenty of cat plates.
From there, you move on to the
Yes!
lift station. And at the lift station, you board these lifts that will carry you to the courtrooms for the trial.
Our ride is so technologically advanced. There are so many layers of elements.
This ride is unbelievably thrilling. Feeling the energy of these lifts as it careens through the Ministry of Magic, starting off in the lift shafts, but then eventually going off course and going through different departments of the ministry, face to face with different creatures, face to face with Death Eaters. It is a truly thrilling experience in every facet of the word.
And not to give too much away, but you'll explore plenty of never-before-seen locations like the Ministry Archives and the Department of Magical Creatures. You'll see characters never before featured in an attraction, like Yaxley, McNair.
I like Yaxley.
busting out some Death Eaters there.
Yeah.
You'll see characters we've never put in an attraction before. That's the weirdest claim.
Well, I mean, how many characters have they actually put in attractions before? Not many, right?
No, I guess not. The one in Hogwarts Castle and the one below
That's got a bunch.
Gringotts.
Gringotts has just got Voldemort, Bellatrix, Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Grip Hook and Bill Weasley.
Yeah, that's it.
I like the Bill Weasley inclusion.
Yeah, well, Bill Weasley is like your guide through the ride. He's like the main character.
I love that. That's attention to detail.
Yeah,
even in Forbidden Journey, like they don't go too far out of like Ron, Harry, and the main cast and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Like you get a group thing at the end where you see a bunch of people
Do you see
cheering
Snape?
you on, but
Is Snape
no,
in that?
I don't think Snape's in it at all.
Well, but in the line, you also see some of the old Hogwarts headmasters talking to you and stuff like that. That's cool.
I like
Well,
that.
you see the you see the original four heads of the houses too.
Right. Yeah.
Godric Gryffindor, Rowena Ravenclaw, Salazar Slytherin, and Helga Hufflepuff. Yeah, their portraits are all talking to each other, which is pretty neat.
And we're so excited. Dame Imelda Staunton has reprised her role as infamous Dolores Umbridge.
She was absolutely brilliant in her performance. She got.
Oh, did you see her in her prison fatigues there?
Yes.
In her prison outfit. I guess she killed somebody.
That makes me really happy that she did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her performance. She got to take Umbridge to the extreme.
It's been a real pleasure for us to collaborate with Warner Brothers over the decades in bringing these fantastic Wizarding World stories to life. And I think fans are really going to be excited about our next offering.
The team at Universal are exceptional partners. We share the same vision and obsession for details.
Okay, we don't need to hear this guy talk anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Can I say that Universal is amazing at making parks, but man, they suck at these trailers. Like this looks like the most corporate training video ever.
I don't know what's up with the 1920s Paris.
Because they have nothing else to base the entire land around.
I don't know.
They have
It's
to go to
just a weird
Fantastic
choice
Beasts.
to me. Yeah.
This is from what was it? Crimes of Grindelwald was Paris, right?
I think wasn't it because of Fantastic Beasts? There was probably they pumped too much money into it and couldn't abandon it.
But it's just I don't know. It's just
Pull the Tim Robbins and make it work.
I wonder if part of it was.
Go ahead, Martin.
I wonder if part of it was their engineers wanting to do something bigger and bolder than a small Scottish village.
yeah, maybe.
It always feels strange to me when I see the snow topped roofs over there in in Hogsmeade, and I'm like sweating profusely because it's 110 degrees outside.
That was me the other day.
And J.K. Rowling won't let you have a soda in her land.
Yes. Oh, I hate that. Oh,
You can't?
Okay. No,
You can bring it
buckle up for this rant. Oh yeah, they won't sell you soda. They won't sell you soda or any like regular beer. You have to either get butterbeer or Gilly water, which is water at an upcharge because it's in a special bottle. It's Gilly water. It's in a special plastic bottle.
It's made with
a
Gilly
special...
weed.
Yeah, and but it's literally just water. They don't even sell the pumpkin juice anymore, and
That's weird.
Yeah, but and they have like special beers that were brewed specifically for the land.
Hot take, I think butterbeer sounds disgusting.
Oh, it's good.
It actually was really good.
See, now, here's the thing. I feel like it should taste like butterscotch, but then I heard it doesn't taste like butterscotch. So what does it actually taste like?
I don't know. How would you describe it, Nolan? I would describe it as like it's like cream soda.
Oh, I'm trying to recollect my taste bugs from 2011.
It's almost like a sugar
sweet
cookie.
And it tastes good.
Yeah, it's like a cookie almost. I don't know.
Soda's not. I'm not a fan of cream soda, so that's not really.
It's not cream. No, it's not cream soda. It's like shortbread cookies almost. Maybe like I don't know.
It's like that.
It's got like a Christmas vibe to it without being gingerbread, if that makes sense. Without having to put the gross taste of gingerbread in your mouth.
Trish, what was the drink that they drink in the Speakeasy in the Fantastic Beasts movies? Giggle something or other.
Giggle water or something.
Oh, I know what you're. I know I didn't see them, but I know what you're.
Yeah, you know they're going to be selling that in the Paris area.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be just regular water. It should be. It should be seltzer water.
I think the thing that gets me is like, no one really cares about Fantastic Beasts. You know what I mean?
Jackie Boy says it's like fizzy. It's like fizzy butterscotch, and I would actually.
We're gonna get fizzy lifting drink.
Oh, man, they need to just make a Wonka area in one of these theme parks one day. Like, just make a Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
I was legit thinking about that actually on my trip the other day at Universal. I was like, man, a Willy Wonka experience would be so cool. And then I think about the Willy Wonka experience, and I'm like, oh.
Well, you did the closest thing to it, right? Didn't you do the closest thing to it, Nolan? You went to Toothsome Chocolate Emporium.
Oh my God, that place was amazing. Oh
yeah,
my! If dare I say, it's the best thing in the park.
That's the steampunk restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's like steampunk chocolate factory.
There was literally a dude dressed up like a robot interacting, come up to some person's table, and it was so cool. But I don't even mean that. We sat in the bar, and those sweets were some of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. My taste buds literally exploded. It was amazing.
Milkshakes. Yeah, giant milk. I get this burger there, and it's a burger with meatloaf on top of the burger and like mashed potatoes on top of that, and it's like, it's fantastic. It's so good.
It's like you have like a cup, and it's like they put almost like if they put a cupcake on top of your cup. It is. I cannot.
The shakes are.
Go there.
Yeah, the shakes are incredible.
By the way, if I don't even know if you're going to move on, but I just want to get this in here in case you are, Martin. It's Giggle water.
Giggle water.
So it's not anything that was like we basically knew it.
Oh, okay. So get this. So when we were at Halloween Horror Nights, where I actually got to meet Nolan for the first time, which was nice. So we're at Halloween Horror Nights, and at this point, it's been a long night. All I want is ice cream. And I like soft serve ice cream. They've got the best soft serve ice cream in Universal because it's the butterbeer ice cream.
I heard that was really good.
Diagon Alley. So I'm like, here we go. So we're going to it.
Do they not have it anymore?
No, they do. They do. That's not where the story's going. Okay. I'm like,
how long did you wait in line? Because I had to wait 20 minutes for the Stave Puft Marshmallow Man. Some more.
Yeah, no. Going back to Diagon Alley, there's not a lot of people back there during Horror Nights, so I got it in like 5 minutes.
Nice.
But so I get in line and I'm like, man, I want a cone, but it's a humid night. I know that an ice cream cone is going to be a disaster. It's going to get everywhere. It's going to be all over my hands. I'm going to be miserable. So I see they've got toppings, and one of them is waffle cone pieces. And I'm like, oh, it's perfect. I'll just have them add the waffle cone pieces to the ice cream. It'll be like having the ice cream cone without actually having the cone. I'll get it in a cup. So I get up there and I'm like, I'll take the butterbeer ice cream and I'll take the waffle pieces and I'll take rainbow sprinkles, please, because they're delightful. And they're like, no, you won't. And I'm like, what? They're like, it's a I forget what it's a trademarked food. You literally cannot alter it in any way.
So you just have to have just butterbeer ice cream.
Yep.
That's it.
You can't have anything on it. So what they did was they were like, look, what I'll do is I'll give you the toppings on the side, and then you
They've definitely done this before.
They're like, you can add them when you're out of the store. I was annoyed by it. Like, yes, it's fine. I eventually I was able to just do it myself, but man, I was not happy. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are we that crazy about this stuff? I have heard, like, because I had a friend that was allergic to something that they put in the foam on the butterbeer, and they wanted to just like get a butterbeer without the foam, and they wouldn't give it to him without the foam.
Now I'm picturing like if we're starting to care this much about copyright with our food, now I'm just picturing like going to Target or something like that, and people start calling me like haters or mob groups or something like that just because I bought a certain brand of cereal. Is that where this world's going?
Yes. So yes.
There were things like that at Disney too, though. There's a bunch of things where you're kind of like, oh, can I get that without this on it? And they're like, no, you may not.
No.
That's not Instagrammable. We don't sell food that's not Instagrammable.
Exactly.
I find them getting rid of pumpkin juice really strange.
Well, the pumpkin juice, I mean, it was like you could feel your teeth rot the second you drink it. It was just, just sugar.
Between it being like a Harry Potter thing and people loving their pumpkin stuff, just in general, it just seems like an interesting decision to get rid of something that's got pumpkin in it.
I know. The I will tell you, on a cold Orlando day, the hot butterbeer is actually really good.
I could see it being better, like me liking it better hot. I could see that.
One day, you and I will organize a trip to Orlando, Trish, and me, you, and Kev will finally do our pilgrimage down there, and I will make sure you have the full Harry Potter experience.
I want it.
But
will you guys wear like the pilgrim hats?
You got to bring Sarah.
Well, of course. I mean,
she and I'll geek out together about it.
When we bring you anywhere, it's always implied that Mrs. Apollo is always invited as well. Okay, we got a couple more super chats here. Jackie Boy for 10 pounds. Sauron is supposed to be Lord of the Rings Satan, a being of godlike power that's lived thousands of years, second only to Morgoth, and he gets Caesared by orcs who are supposed to be loyal only to him. Joke. And again for 5 pounds. And why the hell are orcs not wanting to go to war? They are literally bred for it. It's their sole purpose. I hate Rings of Power so effing much. It's not funny. Me too. Alejandro Melendez for $1.99 says Kevin on the meatloaf burger. Finally a challenge. That would not be a challenge. Forget.
He didn't nail it.
Yeah, no, you would not.
I'm gonna Google this.
How do you have a meatloaf burger and not call it Paradise by the Dashboard Light or something like that?
Probably run into the trademark issue.
Probably.
Oh,
Jim Steph will break your legs.
What were you saying, Kev?
I said Crom laughs at your meatloaf burger.
Yeah, you could easily eat it. I can typically eat it without having to bring it home, or sometimes that's not true. I usually have to bring some of it home. But yeah, you'd be able to eat it in 10 minutes, even if even that. All right, guys, that's everything I had on my list for tonight. Anything else you guys? If anybody wants to, open up any more topics, feel free to super chat them in while we're still here. But other than that, anybody else have anything on their minds? Any pop culture issues that they've been noticing lately?
I was hoping Spencer would check in to say that he clicked the link in bio to let us know about how Bo DeMayo's side of the story.
Oh my word!
Right. So Bo DeMayo has apparently, and
I didn't know what you said. I was like,
I know that I don't know anything about this yet, because it means that literally all of like the pop culture media are doing the exact same thing right now that we're doing. Bo DeMayo has said that he's going to release the full story on what happened with him and the X-Men, but he's only releasing it on his adult subscription page that has the initials OF. And Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of like, I'll just wait for somebody else to do it, and nobody's doing it.
To keep it as clean for YouTube as possible, we know, right, that it's just gonna be a video of him talking to the camera, right? It's not gonna be him explaining it while doing, other kinds of things that adults
I'm sure his shirt will
Like
be
macrame?
Because yeah,
He's gonna wear his outfit in that drawing.
to me, my ex-men.
Oh,
He's got his own. That's what's gonna be.
Yeah, so we were we all nominated Spencer to be the one who had to take the bullet, and have to be the one.
Soldier, I salute you.
You know what? He's gonna do it for bounding anyway. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to him about it next time. But
action must be taken.
Action required.
Action required.
Yes.
He deserves
all
a
I
big
can-
salute like that guy, the extra in Independence Day that salutes so hard.
He needs to be like we have to do like a Bud Light commercial for him, the Real Men of Genius. The Real Men of Genius.
I remember those.
Today we salute you, Mr. Signed Up for Bo DeMayo's OnlyFans guy. Mr. Signed Up for Bo DeMayo's OnlyFans.
Bring it back around. I'm picturing like in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, when they're about to go into like the death maze or whatever it is, and there's like all the trumpet players and stuff. It's like, good luck, Spencer.
Because nobody died at the end of that maze.
Yeah.
Spencer volunteered as tribute.
For those of you about to die, we salute you.
You brave soldier.
Bo knows Spencer.
Imagine that, like having to write that off on your taxes and be like, yeah, so paid for a month of Bo DeMayo's OnlyFans.
I swear this is a business expense.
It's just for research.
Purely research purposes.
Honey, I have to watch this for work.
I just keep imagining like Pro and John Trent over at that park place playing rock, paper, scissors to see who has to do it. Man. Oh, John Trent on Bo DeMayo's subscription page. That is something that I don't think you're ever gonna see. So
can that be a video in itself?
I think John would literally be like, we're never gonna know. We're just never gonna know the true story because I'm not ever doing this.
Fine then, keep your secrets.
All right, then, keep yours. Oh, I love you guys. All right, guys. Well, I don't got anything else. I think we're pretty much done. There was an Agatha all along thing, but I don't feel like talking about it. It's just the little gay kid, and it is like basically daring anyone to like. They're basically like goading out people to try to like rail against gay people with this show. Which and essentially.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say WandaVision is the only show that I watched all the way through, and I actually really liked it. But I feel like it feels so long ago that the fact that this Agatha show hasn't come out yet, I'm like, who cared anymore? Like we were talking about her like 2.5 years ago.
They keep calling the boy Teen, like his name is Teen, and I'm like, we all know that he's Wiccan. We all know that he's Wanda's son, Wiccan. Can we just like? Why are we even bothering to hide it? He looks
Mystery
like the kid.
box.
The character is gay in the comics, so it makes sense that he's gay in the show. I love it. They announced that the character was gay, and everybody was like, "Yeah, no, we got that from the trailer." Just looking at this kid, but because yeah.
But it's like assuming you're right. What do you want? Like an award for following who the character is supposed to be?
In fact,
here, have an award for making Bruce Wayne Batman. Congratulations.
Like,
well, so but he's also talking about how like with witches, like with witches, there's inherent queerness as far as and I'm like, okay, so they're literally just doing the Acolyte again. He's basically like this. He said something about this like reshaping like queer representation in Marvel. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing they're really hurting for.
Does he mean witches in general? Because that's kind of offensive.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that is stupid. And they act like they're so inclusive. That's discrimination. That is
Guys,
stupid.
This show is literally singing lesbian witches. It's literally the Acolyte.
Power of one.
Personally, I think there's going to be a subplot that involves a warlock transitioning. You know why?
Why?
Because witches get stitches.
Oh,
And then he leaves. My drops.
I love that he turned the camera off and muted himself at that. That was a George Costanza mic drop moment. Well,
it was so much better than I thought because I
Well
thought he was
done.
going to say
It was
because
like-
he was Agatha all along.
Ah.
Witches get stitches.
Oh man. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome to all of our new channel. Welcome to all of our new channel members. We've already got a members exclusive video for you guys. Kevin Apollo ranting about Matt Smith's recent comments. So go check that out. We're gonna have a members only live stream next week, either Monday or Friday. So stay tuned to hear about when that's going to be. If you guys subscribe on the Tooney Town Council level, you'll actually be able to join the panel on those members only live streams and chat with me live. So yeah, check it out. We'd love to have you guys as part of the Tooney Town community. And thank you to everybody that bought memberships today. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you to everybody just in the chat in general. And thank you to my wonderful panel. Lord Connor, where can people find more about what you're up to?
Oh, I'm around. I show up on Pro's channel quite often. You can find me at Lauren Connor on Twitter or at Lauren Connor 9030 on YouTube. That's where you'll find me hanging out most of the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, and the genre guys. I can't forget to mention the genre guys. So
Of course not. We had a great episode of the genre guys the other what was it, a week or two ago now, where we did
couple
Superman
weeks
the
ago.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it was
Oh,
so
you
it's
just had a new
Lou,
episode.
and
Sorry?
Oh, I saw you just had a new episode come out on that pod place too.
Yeah, I'm having trouble keeping them all straight because I see them release on T3PO and under the membership thing, so I can never keep straight which one is being released when.
I believe it was the Carl Weathers one. Was it Demolition?
Oh, no. We did Action Jackson, but you're talking about the Action Jackson Bollywood edition. That's the one that recently dropped. We
Yeah.
did. Oh, have you not heard about
Okay.
this? Okay, this was our April Fool's episode. This was something that Lou found. It's actually free on YouTube. It has nothing to do with the Carl Weathers Action Jackson movie except for the title. It's called Action Jackson. It's a Bollywood movie. It's completely insane, and it's not subtitled. It's in Hindi. And we had to watch this thing and figure out what even is this movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. Go ahead and watch the Genre Guys episode on it. I'll tell you, I was dreading watching this thing. Lou was all gung ho about it. We have to watch this movie, and it's like, oh, do we really? I'll say that
How much singing and dancing was there?
there's a dance number about every 20 minutes, and if I remember right, I think it's about a 2.5 hour movie, something like that.
Fantastic.
But I will say, once you start to figure out what's going on, and it does take a while, but it takes about 45 minutes into the movie before it kind of has a hook. And again, you're having to guess, is what's happening here what I think is happening here? There's things that I can't even tell you for sure. They go to Austria at some point. Not entirely sure why. But it was more entertaining than I expected it to be. And I'll also mention it's a lot. This is about a 2.5 hour movie. It feels like 4 to 6, and you're exhausted at the end of it. So
that's always a good sign. It's this long and it feels twice that length.
yeah, take it as you will. It was an experience. So
Fantastic. Martin Stone, what can people find out more about what you're up to?
Well, I do a lot of hanging out here, obviously, and also with Nolan Thunder as one of the Lost Guys. We cover old TV, old movies, stuff that people don't really talk about much anymore, but we want to give some love.
Awesome. Nolan, tell folks more about where they can find you and all your various goings on.
All right. Well, if you like video game coverage and documentaries about lost media that may have never seen the light of day or has just disappeared, then check me out at Nolan Thunder. I have a series called Lost in the Files where I dive into all sorts of video game, urban legends, media mysteries, and all sorts of creepy unsolved mysteries throughout YouTube. And you can also find me on That Game Place with lots of other amazing people to cover video game news going on in the headlines. It's amazing.
Awesome. Trish, you got anything going on? You know, making any girl dinner or anything like that? Or
girl dinner?
That's what my Mrs. Movie Monster told me about girl dinner recently, and it's just like when you throw whatever in the microwave.
Oh, that's like all the time for me.
Yeah, Sarah's going to experiment with girl dinner and gets very mad when I make fun of it.
I don't like to cook, so
the other
whatever's
day,
quick.
The other day I was like, "What are you bringing for lunch?" She goes, "I just made sad girl salad."
Girl
you can always.
It's like girl dinner can be 2 or 3 small sample sizes of any random thing you can imagine.
Well, that's just tapas.
Yes.
I more graze throughout the day than sit and have like a square giant meal. You know, that's how I usually eat.
That makes sense. What did she say?
She said a big charcuterie board is.
That's right. It is.
You know, you feel better about your life if you have having a Lunchable and you call it charcuterie.
I would totally spread the Lunchable out on the charcuterie board. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
My two friends and I, we went out.
For guests.
My two friends and I went out and we got a charcuterie board. Yes, we were all women.
That's so funny. No, but guys, if you want to see more of Trish, she's going to be on a lot of our members only content as well. So, we're hoping to do some in-depth discussions on old TV shows. On, maybe we could do like a show where we're talking about a show where we watch Supernatural and talk about it and things like that because I've never seen it. So, it might be.
We have to do it.
It might be me, Kevin, Trish watching Supernatural, and Trish would probably be the host of that show. So
yes,
I'll
be the one
all of it's going to be available.
Say anything. That'll be me.
All of it's going to be available to the members. So make sure you join and check it out. Kevin Apollo, you got some stuff going on.
Yeah, I'll be here just patrolling the streets of Tooney Town, doing like things and stuff, and upsetting people on the Twitters. And then, November 2nd, come to the Palisades Mall in West Nyack, New York, and see Tommy Dreamer take on the ACW World Champion, Dan the Man.
Oh, that sounds like a good match. Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, that does it for me. As I said, the memberships are up there for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoy them. If you have any ideas for things you want to see as members, please just, send me a message or, comment it on a video or something like that. We've got videos dropping daily on Tooney Town TV and Tooney Town Wrestling now. So, whatever you're in the mood for, we've got you guys covered. Man, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I had to plug this week. I don't think there is. Folks, as always, this has been an absolute genuine joy. I'm literally just like sitting here trying to like vamp while I find the exit video. There it is. Okay. Folks, for all of us here on the Tooney Town channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!
Now, Betty the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you!
I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.